Grown farm fresh produce? Is it the hand selected and cut meats, the hundreds of weekly specials, the clean, friendly shopping environment? Or is it just the fact that that's where for over 50 years your grocery dollar has always gone farther? It's all of these. It's Bob's Rich Way, 906 Fifth Avenue D in Lovington, where your grocery dollar goes farther.
You're back! You're back! I have a gun! I will fucking shoot you!
This is Anissa Tinen. That's the 911 tape where you hear me shoot a 5-time repeat felon that broke into my home here in New Mexico and threatened me and my granddaughter. I was terrified, but what's also terrifying is that Governor Lujan Grisham is attacking our Second Amendment rights. The same Governor Lujan Grisham who handpicked Steve McCutcheon to fill a vacant state Senate seat. Later, McCutcheon told the Roswell newspaper on September 23rd that he was undecided on supporting a special session to impeach Grisham for signing away the gun rights of law-abiding citizens. McCutcheon relented only after all other Republicans had already agreed. That's why I support Larry Scott for state Senate. Larry has a career-long A rating from the NRA after hundreds of pro-Second Amendment votes over 10 years. Send the governor a message that you're not undecided about gun rights. Vote Larry Scott for state Senate because the next victim could be you.
Paid for by Our Values PAC.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Hi, good morning. Southeast New Mexico temperatures in Roswell down 285 at 84 degrees. The wind breezy. In Carlsbad, Artesia, a bit windy too, with 88 degrees, but not like the wind we've had the last couple of days. 84 degrees for Hobbs and Lovington, and we go into Friday. About a 10-degree difference in temperature, 74 degrees at our studios in Lovington, and 77 degrees in Carlsbad. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Arbich.
Your country plays on W105.
You guys ready?
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
And I want to make sure I get the quote exactly right.
You seem particularly triggered right now.
Shut your mouth.
What's your problem? What's my problem?
Yes, what's your problem?
What's my problem?
Sorry, I'm not really a morning person.
Not a morning person. You're not a morning person.
I am not a morning person.
All right, not a morning person.
Maybe you're in the wrong business.
Maybe you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, you would think so.
But for you, I'll make an exception.
Showtime!
And good morning to you. Another day in paradise. Tom A. in the house, ready to get the text done and read and ret to go. Right, Tom?
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound like you're excited about it.
Well, these texts, I mean, wherever they want to.
It doesn't even sound like you're excited.
We're waiting for them to roll in, so texters, roll them in.
Yeah, roll them in. Tom is ready to screw them up. He'll get it done. All right, 877-396-W105. By the way, broadcasting from the End of the Mountain Gods studio. Check them out, endofthemountaingods.com. Question of the day being brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. Avenue D in Lovington, more than just a parts store. Man, you can go in there and ask questions. They'll give you really good answers to get your vehicle repaired. Really cool. Lovington Auto Supply. Question of the day. If you were going to write a book, and I spelt right wrong.
Shame.
That was earlier today. I don't know if spell check changed it or I screwed it up. If you're going to write a book about your life, what would be the title? What would be the title? Tom, what would be the title of your book?
Me.
Me.
Yep.
Me. Boy, I mean, that would get people to read it.
Yeah.
Me.
Wonder what he's talking about. Me.
Wow. Blake, if you were to write a book, what would be your title?
The funny thing is I've actually thought about this. And if I was writing a book about my life, it would be about a lot of the people I've met and things that I've participated in and things.
Yeah.
And I would probably call it Other People's Shoes.
I have actually thought about writing a book, and because I've got lots and lots of stories being on the radio for 40 years. And I was, mine would be the ups and downs of being on the radio every morning or something, like that. I mean, I got stories about Tom that will curl people's toes. And not only that, I got stories about that employees. One employee in particular that I had to let go because he had a medical condition. And Woody would stand up around the female employees, and he could not prevent it. It was actually a medical condition.
Was it really? Wow.
And and he would go out to remotes, and I was scared to death that some little girl would be going to the remote. And and his dad was a big time lawyer. So I had to figure out another way of getting rid of him to protect the corporation. Whew.
Wow.
Yeah, but Woody, man, not good. That was a bad situation for everybody, especially for him. He could barely walk. 611-877-396 W105. Today is Ascension Day. Hooray for Buttons Day. They invented buttons on this date in history. Lost Sock Day. Memorial Day for lost socks. Make a Book Day. Butterscotch Brownie Day. That is nasty. Moscato Day. What is a Moscato, Tom?
That's a whiskey, isn't it?
It's a wine, I think.
Moscato.
Whiskey?
No, it's a wine.
Is it?
That's what I was thinking. Tear the tags off your mattress day going on today.
That's a crime.
Yeah. Oh, you could be arrested for that. Donald Trump actually abided by the gag order yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Did not mention Stormy Daniels and his posts, remarks. But still, nobody in planet gags more than Stormy Daniels herself. This week, Stormy...
I heard she doesn't gag.
Oh, it's possible. Trump fined another $1,000, bringing the total to $10,000 in gag order violations.
Of which most of them weren't. Most of them were reposts from someone else.
I think that's how much Stormy Daniels charges per hour. 10,000. Could be.
Man, that's way overpriced if that's the case.
Yeah. President Biden nearly suffered another embarrassing fall yesterday. I don't know if you caught that. And navigating the short stairs of Air Force One ahead of his campaign trip to Wisconsin.
Before or after he lied about inflation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With all the beer this guy that they drink in Wisconsin, citizens thought it was nothing. They did. I mean, I've lived in a bunch of different states. Nobody drinks like Wisconsin. They were like that. Oh, Biden must have had a couple ones. Don't worry about it. Always good. So Biden takes another close to another spill. All right, we're going to get to the tweet of the day. This one coming from New Mexico. I'll get to that. Kamala Harris at the women's conference. And the way they introduced her as the smartest, most articulate, I was like, I was waiting for somebody else to stand. So I'll get to that. Also, our buddy Carl Higbee from Newsmax talking about Islam and talking about the fastest growing religion in the world.
Wow.
And do you know, Tom, do you think we're at the highest point when it comes to foreigners living in America? Highest point in the history of America. You think we're there?
Yeah, we've been there a while.
No, we haven't been there for a while. Highest point in the history of America. And the next question is, when is enough? Do you think we have enough already?
We'll probably get some more.
Oh, well, you think we should get some more?
No, I said we'll probably get some more.
No. The question was, do you think that we're at the point where we don't need any more? We've got more people here than jobs. Is it time for us to just go, we're done?
I think it's the question you should ask Congress and the president.
I
ain't got no control over that. Come on now.
It's a question, Tom. It's a question.
It's a question that can't be answered, B.
You're frustrating the hell out of me. I'm just saying.
So here's the thing, Kevin, is we are beyond the point where we should shut this down.
Let me ask the same question to somebody with brain cells. Blake, do you think we're at the point where we should just say we can't sustain anymore?
We are past that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. we needed to have shut this down long ago. And we need to take those steps to start reversing that as quickly as possible. And especially in light of the fact that, like you're talking about, Muslim being the fastest growing religion. If you watch these demonstrators, not only is it the religion that they're doing, but they're promoting the terrorist aspects of it. Right. It's not even the peaceful part of it. It's the terrorist part.
In the UK, they are starting to wake up and going, we have to deport some of these people.
Yeah.
We have to deport some of these people. So thank you for the answer, Blake. I know it's a hard question, but we are an opinion show. That's why we like folks to give opinions.
Right.
So thank you. Yesterday, TikTok sued to block the United States law from forcing a nationwide ban of the popular app. I don't even know how you shut down the app in the country. We can't even stop people from coming across the southern border.
No.
We can't stop drugs from coming across the southern border, but we're going to block an app. I don't know how you do that unless you make Apple and Google take it off their app store. And even then, how many people already have the app? And it's only a matter of time before they get it on the black market. I think that's pretty much impossible to do. And remember Steve Urkel, Family Matters, Little Steve?
Yeah.
What was his name? Jalil White.
Yeah.
Got married to a tech executive in a Los Angeles County country club wedding. She is a tech executive, makes lots of money, and they both did the Urkel at the wedding. Trump
funny.
versus New York. Resumed the cross-examination of Stormy Daniels yesterday. Judge denied the request for that mistrial. So they resume this morning with continued cross-examination. How many days are you going to cross-examine Stormy Daniels? This is another attempt to just put the wild card up there, and she's getting routed. She's already said she hates Trump. When you say you hate somebody, that means you'll say and do whatever you have to do. And the reason she hates Trump is because he scorned her. He scorned her and did not let her to go on The Apprentice show. That's what this is about. And by the way, she owes him money. He doesn't owe her money. She owes him money.
Yes.
For attorney fees.
Yes. Wasn't there a clause in there that if she did disclose that she would have to pay it all back and everything?
Yes. Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out, 3 days of testimony. Wow. 3 days is a long time. And, they keep going back to this hush money, the alleged hush money. That is not against the law.
Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Not against the law. Ask Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Yeah.
Not against the law.
Grabbed the guy's crotch and paid hush money.
Yes. While we are too busy dealing with the Palestinian protesters and our kids in college just going the wrong way, China drafted a law into effect last week that requires military training for elementary school students.
Yeah, I saw that. That was interesting.
Elementary school students at the age of, I think it's 8 years old. These little kids put on the uniforms and get military training. Remember back in the day when we had the Corps that, every young boy wanted to have that gun,
right,
and go on the training, not training, but the drills and stuff. That was awesome. I did it for 2 years. It was an awesome opportunity. These kids are also going to learn about how to clean firearms and stuff.
That's a useful skill. That's a useful skill for life.
Yeah. In the meantime, our Boy Scouts are turning into a woke organization.
Well,
nuts.
They've been working on that for a little while.
That for a long time. All right, let's get updated. Find out what the weather is going to be like today. Check out the weather this morning. Being brought to you by our buddies at the Twin Wells Fuel Station. Go down 128, exit on Buck Jackson Road, open to the public. Large, nice facility, covered area in case it's raining. We got rain in the forecast later on in the week. And they accept all credit cards, fleet cards, and debit cards. They apologize for all the inconvenience a couple of weeks ago when they had a problem with their card reader. And they've got that issue resolved and put in a brand new card reader. They apologize for any inconvenience. Get in there and be safe on the road from the Twin Wells Fuel Station. Sunny today, 88. Enjoy it while you can. About 15-mile-an-hour winds. Increasing clouds tonight and also increasing wind tonight. 25-mile-an-hour winds expected tonight. And then on Friday, they're now saying partly sunny at 74, and winds are only going to be about 15 miles an hour. They changed the weather on me, but Friday night, tomorrow night, 20% chance of rain, and then Saturday, a 60% chance of rain. Even Sunday, we have rain in the forecast. 5-day forecast. Check it out for yourself, W105radio.com. David Trujillo, sponsor of the weather this morning. David Trujillo, Republican running for county commissioner, District 1. He is a Republican and Desert Storm Army veteran for 15 years. Has worked out in the patch for the past 17 years. Has served in a position in Lovington as mayor pro tem, our city commissioner for over 20 years, and being part of Lovington and having to go up the Santa Fe. He understands how to get capital outlay money. He also understands the shortfalls that you might have as a municipality. Oil field goes down and revenue is affected. So he understands how to handle that. David Trujillo, Republican, running for County Commissioner 1 in Lee County, and a message paid for by David Trujillo. Tom in the text, it's 622.
As question B, would that not be called an anti-disclosure agreement? Ask the texter. And
Sure.
What are your thoughts on the drizzle movement? I haven't heard of anything like that, but they're asking about it.
Drizzle.
I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
I'm sure that they got us on something there.
Is that like gonorrhea?
Something like, I don't know. Texter, what do you?
Oh, that was the drip movement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And this one texter says, we could easily stop the illegal immigration as well as drugs if we wanted to. Let's go, Brandon.
Here it is. I looked it up.
What is
it? They advocate for women to pay their own bills after 3 months in a relationship.
Oh, really?
That's the drizzle movement. Never heard of it.
Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I know some deadbeat guys that get with a working girl, and I don't know why the working girls put up with this.
Right.
But these guys have like 6 baby mamas and kids all over the place, and they sit at home playing PlayStation all day and smoking weed while the wife or girlfriend works and she pays all the bills. So it's just not girls that do it. But I mean, if you want to, that's up to your relationship.
Right.
Individual, if you want to come to an agreement where somebody pays their fair share of the bills, that's your business.
B, I heard last night a real sad thing, says the text. Another January 6th prisoner killed himself last month while we have the real terrorists in the streets. Says
Amen.
The text. B.
And Trump did say that we need to investigate these individuals like we investigated January 6th.
Yeah.
And they're still making arrests in January 6th. I mean, anybody that was there and thought they're off the hook, they're not off the hook.
No.
They're still running the software going, oh, wait, we have a we have a match here. Facial recognition match. Here we go.
This texter says, oh, by the way, that's not the Drizzle movement.
That's what the internet said it was.
That's what the internet says. And one more on the question of the day. What would your book title be? Tom's book title would be the Smoocher, says the text. Okay. B.
It would be, I'm going to read these real slow.
Be the Smoocher.
That's what it would be. All right, thought for the day being brought to you by Wakefield Oil, 35 years serving Southeast New Mexico. Quality service, dependable. They go on-road and off-road to deliver oil and gas products. Interstate batteries, diesel, DEF value, whatever it is you need, they can take care of that. WakefieldOil.com for more information. Close to 40 years ago, Mr. Wendell Wakefield packed up the family, moved the kids to Roswell, and started Wakefield Oil. Thought for the day and memory of Mr. Wendell Wakefield. Home is where you trust the toilet seat. It's my thought for the day. Thought for the day, Tom. That is the thought for the day. Man in Gallup sentenced for sexual abuse of minors. Gallup Local received a prison sentence of 10 years in prison, pleading guilty to illegal sexual contact with not one minor, but two minors over the past decade. 30-year-old Latham Mesquites is admitted that he had contact with two victims between August 2012 and August of 2013. One of the victims was between 12 and 16. The other victim was under the age of 12 years old. By the way, he agreed to a plea deal in federal court. Incident took place on the Navajo Nation. He will serve his time in prison and will be under supervised probation for 10 years. And, of course, will have to register as a sex offender. GOP accusing the Biden administration or Biden of withholding the arms from Israel for personal political gains, pandering to the pro-Hamas mob. I agree 100%. And by the way, this was not a gift from the American people.
No.
They were buying the goods. Why? Wait, we're gonna get a country to give us $1 billion? Unlike the money that we've sent to Ukraine, Israel is gonna pay us $1 billion, and we're holding up the deal?
Yep.
Crazy.
Because he is pandering to the terrorists.
Of course he is.
No doubt.
Basically,
No doubt.
basically what he's telling Israel is, we're not going to let you win this war.
Right. Ayan Omar on Biden withholding the arms from Israel. She said what young people across the country were protesting for. She said the protesters won. And I don't know if you saw the entire squad come out and make a statement. Every one of them. Cori Bush said that these young protesters were persecuted. If anybody was persecuted, it was the Jews that were told not to come on campus. The hell's the matter with you people? I think you've lost your mind.
Our biggest ally, probably in the world, but at least the Middle East.
World. Yeah.
We just hung them out to dry.
Yep.
And yet Biden is
screwed up a 50-year relationship, if not longer. How long has that been? No, it's longer than 50 years.
69, isn't it? Been a while.
New Mexico Supreme Court announced yesterday that they were going to. They had decided to change the state's criminal justice system that would keep more people in jail before their trial. Did you see this story, Blake?
I got to find it again. I
the
saw it.
Yeah, the Supreme Court said people awaiting trial will be held in jail if they are accused of new crimes while out on conditions of release if the charges fall into certain categories. They will remain in jail at least until the judge hands down the original case, considered whether they should stay in jail. Charges come into play for all felons and some misdemeanor charges, driving while intoxicated and negligent use of a firearm and aggravated battery, stalking, and some other domestic charges are included. In addition,
okay.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Additionally, when someone awaiting trial violates their conditions of release, like contacting somebody or they shouldn't have, or having a gun when they shouldn't have, the judge must consider changing those release conditions. This is heading in the right direction. We're heading in the right direction.
Yes.
Getting rid of catch and release.
Right.
2 Albuquerque leaders fought for this. One of them was the district attorney who begged that they do this. And Harold Medina, the Albuquerque Police Department chief, begged for it also.
Wow.
Supreme Court listened. And so this is a positive move for New Mexico.
It is, but it's almost unbelievable that they just reverse their course like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad don't get me wrong. I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah, I'm super stoked that they are making that adjustment.
About time.
And billionaires funding this anti-Israeli protests. Also are funding people like
Joe Biden.
Gabe Vasquez.
Yes.
Representative from CD2, Congressional District 2. The Pritzker family has gave a bunch of money to Gabe Vasquez.
And that's Hyatt Hotels for people who don't know who the Pritzker.
Yeah, you stay at Hyatt, you're giving to the liberals.
Yep.
So the Libra Foundation that's what these guys do. They form a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And the foundation will give money to campaigns and stuff like that, or terrorist groups.
Right. Because they don't have the same kind of limits that individuals do.
No. And they also farm PACs and that type of stuff. So the Lieber Foundation supports the Migrant Defense Project. Of course, George Soros also has his own foundation called the Tides Foundation.
Right.
That backs every progressive organization out there. Gabe Vasquez has gotten big donations from the Pritzkers and from the Lieber Foundation.
And if you don't think that's paying off, just look at what Joe Biden did with the military aid to Israel.
Yep. Don't get it. Belgium, sex workers, first and rural, they have formed a union. They're going to get health care, pensions, and maternity leave. I know it sounds crazy. By the way, I wonder if the pimps will get anything. Under the law, if a prostitute refuses a client more than 10 minutes over 6 months, a pimp can trigger an intervention by the government. What? This is just nuts. It also entitles sex workers to health insurance, pension, unemployment benefits, like if you're hurt on the job.
Okay.
First workers' comp claim was a jaw that came out of socket.
So, is that real?
No. Belgium sex workers they formed a union. This is nuts.
Well, it won't be long here. They'll be doing that here.
Kind of nuts. New Mexico judges must now put reoffenders behind bars. I just talked about that case. Evidently, I printed the story from 2 different sources. This is good news. This is great news for New Mexico.
It really is.
It really is. All right, we're going to talk about new information in that deadly Las Cruces crash that took the lives of several people. We'll get to that. Also, taking out the trash. Tweet of the day. I want to do taking out the trash now because it's kind of timely. But I'm going to get to the tweet of the day before I do taking out the trash. Morning show being brought to you by All American Cleaners. All American Cleaners. You can find them in Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, Lovington, and in Hobbs. Wash, dry, and fold your clothes. 17 pounds, $16.99. They do dry cleaning, starching. They are ready to take care of all your laundry and all your clothes. Go to the website, allamericancleaners.net, for more information. Tom on the text.
All right, so this text is asking you, B, it's a world with a D, not whirl. You said world. You said whirl. So,
Look, if you're going to sit here and go through every word that I say, please get a notepad and start writing it down, okay?
man's flicted, okay?
Yeah, I'm flicted, Tom.
That would be. Wait. We're doing words. That would be conflicted.
Yeah, flicted.
Thank you.
Flicted. For sure.
So I have a hearing problem. So sometimes I cut things off my words. I do.
Huh?
I apologize. But in defense of Tom, I do like a great majority of the reading, and then you can't even get the text messages right. So I don't want to hear crap from you.
So don't criticize because he hurts his butt feelings, okay?
Please.
Wait.
Please.
So
what's a butt feeling?
So
if anybody knows about butt feelings, it'd be you, because you sit on yours all day.
How do you hurt a butt feeling? That's what you said, man. I just want to know what it is.
Everybody knows what I meant. And by the way, Moscato is a Mexican mosquito.
No, it's a wine.
It's a wine. Mezcal is a whiskey. I saw it on an episode of Columbo the other day.
Columbo.
Those are good shows. Johnny Pio says, is Tom A on the morning show the same one that comes out after radio? Yes, it's the Tom A show. 10 to 2 every day.
There you go.
And another term for the question of the day, what would the name of your book be? Swing and a miss, says the there you go. Guys, there you go. I'll read them.
Okay, Tom, anytime.
There's another one that's criticized you.
Wow.
He'll say coal, C-O-L-E, instead of cold. You have a cold. He'll say coal. So.
Well, go get some coal.
Yeah. So there you go. And B.
Thank you. All right. Taking out trash this morning, being brought to you by Trash Eaters, trash-eaters.com. Call Kayleen this morning if you need residential or commercial pickup. Look, they can haul your waste away. They've got the big old roll-off containers that Tom loves so much. They've got those. They've got the 2 and 4 yard metal dumpsters, and they've got the 96-gallon poly carts. So they can take care of hauling everything away for you. They're veteran-owned and operated. Kayleen standing by. 575-408-1719. A local company. Do business with local companies. Go to the website, trash-eaters.com. This is great. This is great. Denver migrants refuse to leave an encampment.
Right.
Send the mayor a list of demands. Demands. They published a document with 13 specific demands. And part of that is free health care.
Yep.
They want to be moved to hotels, nice hotels, vouchers for food.
You're kidding.
Busing for their kids. And they said that a lot of the food they're getting is not culturally appropriate.
Give them some pork rinds.
Tom.
And so the list went at that 13. Did you see the list, Blake?
Yes.
13 different demands. And let me ask you a question. As a guy that lives in a foreign country, if I would make demands to the Philippine government,
It ship you out, bro.
number one, they would say, who are you? So we can come pick you up and ship you back wherever the hell you came from.
Right.
As far as giving you free health care, I don't get free health care. Why are we giving people that ain't put one penny, not one red cent, into the government?
Well,
why are they so much more important than us?
Yeah, because they want to cook their own food with fresh, culturally appropriate ingredients.
We'll go buy it
instead of pre-made
you
meals.
know what? We will send you back to whatever country you came from.
Shower excess without a time limit.
Yeah, and we will, allow you to cook for yourself. How about that?
Medical professional
nice?
visits.
Former Mayor Mike Johnson announcing new funding.
I think that's nice that we are good enough to at least give you a bus ticket home.
Well, medical professional visits will happen regularly, and referral connections for specialty care will be made as needed.
Right. So they don't even want to go to the doctor.
No.
They want the doctor to come to them. And I'm just here to say, I do not care if you are a migrant that came to America, especially if you became a citizen of the United States. I embrace that. I love having you as a citizen because that's what our country's about. This is not what our country's about.
Nope.
This is not what our country is about.
And Denver has I think there's they said 400 of them are living in private homes, which Denver pays the people for them to live there.
Man.
So if we cannot give the same benefits to American citizens, why are we giving it to foreigners? It's totally nuts.
Right.
It is just it is totally ludicrous. It's nuts. All right, Tom, I'm going to get to the tweet of the day. Let's get to the price of the oil first, being brought to you by Spinnaker Oilfield Cementers and Cud Energy Services. Together, they are hiring. They offer one of the best benefit packages in the industry. They also offer a great salary. Housing's available if you need it. They are looking for service supervisors and training. There's a program for that, must have a CDL. They're looking for diesel mechanics, electric technicians, equipment operators. CDL is required for that position, and they're looking for experienced pressure pump hands. Housing's available. Apply today at greatoilfieldjobs.com or text oilfield to 63566 today. 642, Tom.
West Texas Intermediate, $79.53, $84.11 for Brent crude, and the price of natural gas is $2.15. B.
All right, we're going to get to the story about Las Cruces, a deadly wreck there. We'll get to that, more information on that. And also a woman who identified as a cat went to a wedding and upstaged the wedding. This is not funny. Yeah, it's not funny at all. The bride probably not really happy about it either. All right, 643, tweet of the day being brought to you by Rig Outfitters and the Home Store, Broadmoor Mall, and Hobbs, FR Jeans, coveralls, gloves, shirts. They offer hard hats, safety gear, boots, steel toe boots. Go in there and check out. If you don't have a bunch of money for boots, they have a $99 section. Go check those out. Plus, they have furniture, appliances, and electronics at zero down financing. Scrub Outfitters. You can find them next to Rig Outfitters in the Broadmoor Mall. They have the largest selection of medical scrubs in 100 miles. Yeah, they've got all your scrubs like Healing Hand brand, Med Couture, Peaches, Dickies, comfortable shoes, huge selection of compression socks. You might be looking for stylish compression socks. They have all colors and designs. Rig Outfitters, Scrub Outfitters in the Broadmoor Mall. Tweet of the day coming from New Mexico. New Mexico EMT worker. The definition of a woman is difficult. That's what she said.
Women fit that definition.
Female. Because they're not female. So how
would you define a woman?
An adult human female.
How doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Female. Because they're not female. So you're saying is that a quote unquote trans woman is a female?
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So how would you define female?
There are several different categories for how we define sex. It's a complicated spectrum.
What is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated.
It's not.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, then they're full of the ones that would say that. You said you're an EMT.
Yes.
You're responding to a health emergency. Biological male, somebody with a penis, is having a medical emergency. And they say to you, I think I'm having a miscarriage. Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
No.
Drop mic moment. I love the way they asked no. Well, yeah.
Apparently, it's not as complicated as he thought.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very complicated issue.
But
very
then
complicated.
But then it's not when they ask the question.
Yeah, it's not that complicated.
The complicated part of that was him getting to the answer.
Oh. But he did a good job getting to the answer. All right, Kamala Harris at a big women's conference, a.k.a. abortion talk. That's basically what that was. And when they introduced her, they said one of the smartest, most articulate women in the world. I was like, where is this woman? And then Kamala Harris. They introduced Kamala Harris, but she is, she's a little goofy.
Did they say in the world or in the room?
No, I think they said in the world. Yeah.
I think
even in the room would probably not be accurate. Here's what she had to say, and I thought this was like, really? Here we go.
Gonna have to be ready for this. Ready for certain language. And I said very loudly, ovaries.
I didn't even find that funny for that crazy laugh. I didn't find it funny at all. Newsmax, Carl Higbee, I love this guy, talks about Islam. Go watch the entire segment. It's about 5 minutes long. I can't play the whole segment, but I did get this from Carl Higbee on Newsmax.
They compete in. The only thing liberals can compete with on anything is compliance. And they've found a friend in Islam. This is America, folks. It's the Constitution. The First Amendment says you can practice any religion you want. But let's look at everywhere where Islam is the religion of the land before we rush to mass convert here in America. Go to Iran, go to Syria, Yemen, Pakistan, Iraq, whatever. And go to any of those countries, and you wear a t-shirt criticizing the Prophet Muhammad. Well, you'll probably face death, like these people did. Under Sharia law, it's absolutely punishable by death if you denounce their prophet in any way. See for yourself. Death is mandatory in cases of blasphemy. It says it. Now, if those same people who want to put you to death for criticizing their prophet, when they come to here in America, they're free to criticize Jesus or even burn the flag under our First Amendment, not so much as even a ticket. But those same people are claiming that they are oppressed here in America. What they mean is, and by oppression, is anyone who doesn't want to do things their way. Don't be fooled by this, folks. Oppression in their eyes is anyone who stands in the way of their rule and their laws and their way of life. For them, it's Islamic law or bust.
A little later on in the show, I'm going to go to Chip Roy from Texas. Chip Roy talked about the fastest growing section of immigration in the United States. And don't be too surprised. Don't be too surprised. Pastor Mike Lee talking about these protesters. How are these kids getting by? Pastor Mike Lee, he kind of explains why they're doing what they're doing.
When I watch the video of these college kids, what's really interesting to me is when they read their demands. And I'm thinking, who are you to have demands? I'll tell you where it comes from. It's a generation of entitlement. It's a generation of participation trophy. It's a generation, we get our way. We're going to get our way, and we're not going to leave until we get our way. By the way, let me just say this. Do you know the very first thing that Hitler did when he wanted to turn Germany into what I'm saying is probably the most evil nation that has ever existed? You know what he did? He went after the kids. Study your history. Do you know what he taught them? He said, listen, if your parents disagree with the Nazi Party, turn them in. Mm-hmm. And that's what the kids did. But my point is, he went after the kids. He taught them to dishonor their mother and father.
Wow. It's happening today. Can you imagine parents having that conversation with their kids? What are you doing?
He is spot on.
Yeah. Entitlement. That's what we produced in America. Entitlement. And let me just say, it's not just in America. It's in a lot of different countries. But we have taken the baton for sure. We're probably leading in that. All right, we're coming back. The governor of New York said something that's got folks upset. She's talking about black folks don't even know what a computer is. We'll get to that in just a second. Police released new information on that deadly Las Cruces crash. New information coming out. It's been released about the crash in Las Cruces that resulted in 1 death and 14 injuries last month. 69-year-old driver of Ford Explorer says she mistakenly pressed on the accelerator instead of the brake as she pulled into a parking space at the Savers thrift shop or thrift store. Pamela K. Nelson, 67, was killed in that crash. Las Cruces Fire Department released the ages and they say and genders. 12 people received medical care on that day, and the youngest being 11 and the oldest being 70. So we do know that that 2 store employees were injured and 1 person died. Crazy. A woman identifies as a cat upstages the bride as she started crawling behind the altar.
It's crazy, man.
The bride was horrified when the woman identifying as a cat upstaged her on her own wedding.
Did she know
wearing
the
a
woman?
tail and pointed ears, crawling on all fours, crawled behind the altar. 24-year-old who lives in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, said the creature began bowing towards her and her 22-year-old groom, Michael Morris, when they were exchanging their vows. Shocking. You know, you're getting married and you're filming the whole thing. Unbelievable.
Maybe that's how she was, when they say if anyone here has a reason why they shouldn't be married, maybe that was.
Yeah. By the way, the 36-year-old woman, Amy White, recorded the entire footage as this woman started meowing all over the place. Her name, by the way, her name is Mystic Morris. Mystic Morris.
Of course it is.
Yeah, the governor, Michelle Lujan Gresham. Legislative agenda for public safety. The public safety special session is what they're calling it. State lawmakers from both sides of the aisle expressed skepticism on Monday about the governor's legislative agenda for the special session that is going to be in July and focusing on public safety. Members of the court's Correction and Justice Committee questioned in particular whether governor is moving too quickly on civil and criminal competency bills because to complete retool the system. So they're saying they're moving too fast. Alan Martinez, representative from Bernalillo, he's a Republican, said, my fear is that we're going to rush to pass something and it's not going to work. Do we have a history of doing that, rushing to pass something without understanding the end? Yeah, we do. So that could be a concern that is noted. Joe Cervantes, senator from Las Cruces, Democrat, said repeated changes since 2018 to law that prohibits felons from possessing firearms haven't moved the needle in New Mexico. DWI.
Oh, you mean criminals are going to be criminals?
Oh, yeah. I think that's what he's saying. Look, we've got until June and then the July session.
Yeah, July 18th.
Maybe they should put some thought to it and come up with things that actually work. Because taking guns from individuals, that's really not going to work.
But that's what she means, because she can call it whatever she wants.
Right.
You know,
What's the gun?
if you call it a tail on a dog a leg,
right,
it doesn't mean the dog has 5 legs. It means it has 4 legs and a tail. It doesn't matter what you call it. But this is nothing more from her perspective than, oh, public safety. That means that we can go after people's guns, because to her, no right is absolute. She has said
well,
that.
I mean, the other thing, taking away law-abiding citizens' guns is going to do nothing to move the needle, because they're not the ones committing the crimes.
But you make the mistake of thinking that she actually wants to move the needle.
Right.
Her agenda is not really crime. She doesn't really care what the criminals do. If she did, they wouldn't enact these things that they do. Her agenda is to push her party forward, and the way her party is dealing that out right now is to take away private citizens' rights, including the right to bear arms, because as long as you have an armed populace, you can't impose your will on them. If they can revolt. If they can't revolt, you can make them do whatever you want them to do.
Yep, that's why Americans should never give up their guns. Biden vows to withhold the weapons from Israel. We'll have the sound bites coming up in just a second. Netanyahu is not going to cave, and it's all about the invasion of Rafah. Why is that so important? Hamas has had how many months to come out with a peace deal? They have turned every one of them down. So now is the time. And by the way, America has hostages. Joe Biden hasn't done one thing to get our hostages.
No.
You know what? I would be bombing individuals, members of Hamas. I would be taking out strategic sites, and I wouldn't care where they were. Oh, in Qatar? Fine. Qatar, we know where they are. You've got 30 minutes to move whoever is in there, except the terrorist. It's just a warning, because we're about to turn it to dust.
No, and that he's not doing that at all. He's actually doing the opposite of that.
Will not. One thing that Donald Trump has done as of late that I really don't care for, Trump rebuked Marjorie Taylor Greene's failed attempt to oust the speaker, saying it is not the time. Either Mike Johnson and Donald Trump have a plan that they will come back at these Democrats at a later date. Get them on your side, make them feel good, and then we're going to lower the boom. But I really don't think that's the case. And I agree. It's probably not the right time. We're in an election year. But that is something that should be said, Donald Trump to Marjorie Taylor Greene. That should not be said in public. Am I wrong about that? Marjorie Taylor Greene has been one of Trump's allies from day one.
Well, but the Republican Party has a history of shooting themselves in the foot, no matter who it is.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we're going to get to the story. 3 predators arrested in New Mexico. We'll get to that. Big weekend at the Hobbs Airfield Speedway. BJ the Flagman from the TV show, The Street Outlaws, is going to be first time ever in New Mexico or West Texas. It's going to be at the Hobbs Airfield Speedway. Flashlight Cash Days with the Flagman, BJ the Flagman. Go check that out. Friday night they're racing. This Friday night, TNT races. They're going to be racing. And gates open at 6. Saturday's the flashlight races. So get in there early. Gates open at 11. They're going to be racing many different categories. By the way, you want to go for both days? There's actually, you can buy special ticket prices to go for both days. Get more information by calling Jamal 575-631-5099. You can also go and follow them Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, Hobbs Airfield Speedway. Tom on the text.
I'm from Oklahoma, and we usually put people like that down, referring to that cat lady. And another text is saying, need to neuter that cat, right? And Dr. Kevorkian, if you guys remember him, let's reference him. He was the guy that would help people assist in suicides. Now, this text says, Dr. Kevorkian would be the only doctor I would let them immigrants see demanding health care. Too bad he's no longer with us, says that.
But look, these are individuals. I get it. They're individuals. And they should be treated with some dignity as we escort them out. But for any foreigner to make demands on a country is just, it's ludicrous. It's silly. And we should not stand for it. It's crazy. That's what it is. It's crazy. That's the word. It's crazy.
And these immigrants, this tax would get a bus ticket and deport papers from Texas, says the texter. And there's a book titled "Overcoming Your Fear of Facts: A Guide for Recovering Democrats," says this one text. Okay. And Tom's book would be called "I Did It All for a Bucket of Chicken," says the text. Another one on my title of my book would be "Buffets: The Life of a Fat ASS." Says the text. Okay.
Oh, that's
awful.
just cold.
They're awful today. There you go.
That's just cold. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's cold.
There you go.
You guys are brutal.
They're brutal. They're hating you and me.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying you're brutal. That's crazy. That's nuts. All right, we're going to talk about the predators that they arrested. Thank God that they went out there and arrested these guys. We'll get to that coming up next. Morning show being brought to you by Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. Of course, Southeast New Mexico's largest inventory of pre and new, brand spanking new, pre-owned and new RVs. Keystone and Cougar, some of the big brands. They offer fifth wheels, Toyolas, ultralights, and more. If you're working and living in a hotel, maybe you ought to get a fifth wheel. Take that per diem and put it to work for you. They've been in business now close to 70 years. MainTrailerSalesInc.com. You can go to that website and take the virtual tour of all units that are on that website. And every unit on the lot is on the website. 575-622-1751. MainTrailerSalesInc.com. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. 702 KWMW, Malchamore, 105.1 FM. Well, it looks like Governor Holcomb is in trouble. The governor of New York said something about black students, black kids in Brooklyn. Black kids in Brooklyn, they don't know nothing about no computers.
Ooh.
I'd be willing to give bet that 99% of those kids probably have a smartphone. Tom, what is a smartphone?
That's what I got.
But what is it?
It does the work for you.
It's a computer.
Right.
You have more computer power in your pocket than they had that we sent man to the moon with.
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
At least that works, the phone. And so I think a lot of people are saying it's a racist statement. Listen to it.
Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
That is just a idiotic, out of touch thing to say.
That's racist, right?
Because what do you think these kids don't go to school?
I mean, so many politicians are out of touch. I got Joe Biden talking about the damn Snickers bar coming up again.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about corporate greed.
Well, yeah, it can't be his 9% inflation.
No. I mean, the government keeps wanting more money. That's not greedy, right?
No,
you want 50% of my paycheck. That's not greedy.
Well, he gets kickback from that.
That's greedy. The government wanting 50% of anybody's pay is greedy as hell. But blame it on the corporations that pay the bills. Nuts. All right, I got a lot of cuts. We're going to talk about the Israel arms deal. And Biden admits he's holding up that shipment. And I need Tom deciphering a Biden quote. I will get to that coming up shortly. 3 alleged child predators arrested in a sting operation in Albuquerque. So an underarm operation in New Mexico by the New Mexico Department of Justice resulted in 3 arrests. And it all surrounds child predators that initiated contacts with underage children on the Meta platforms. So New Mexico Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Meta and calling for a lack of protection for kids on these social media sites.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
Now, just a question. Shouldn't parents be in charge of their kids' social media platforms?
Should.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
I agree with Tom. They should, but they're not.
Yep.
Oh. So we've got 2 of the people were immediately taken to the in custody. They were at a Motel 6 in Gallup. One suspect, Fernando Clyde. DOJ said he started communicating with someone that he thought was 12 years old, a 12-year-old girl on Facebook back in February. Second suspect, Marlon Kellywood, 29 years old, reportedly started messaging someone he thought was a child on Facebook back in December 23. Same month, the DOJ filed a lawsuit against Meta over trafficking and sexual abuse concerns. Both of those people charged with 1 count of solicitation of a child. Attempted criminal sexual penetration of a minor. Torres said that none of the agents posing as children initiated any of the inappropriate conversations. Each instance, the individuals who have been identified and the course of the operation are able to find and locate these kids through design features and algorithms. Third person was arrested, Christopher Reynolds in Chaves County. Told law enforcement about messages, and after the sheriff's department raised concerns. By the way, for anybody wondering, Chaves is spelled with an S, not a Z. Thank you, Albuquerque News again. So,
that third guy was already a registered sex offender.
He was, and was doing it again. Crazy story. Crazy people. They'll keep doing it until you stop them doing it. There is a case in Louisiana where they are going to castrate an individual. Not chemical castrate. They are going to
take the knife
surgically with a Bowie knife. No, I guess not. But surgically, remove what God gave him.
Most of the ones they're going to remove probably don't need a Bowie knife anyway.
Yeah.
Just a little scalpel.
Yeah. All right, 708, be on the Breakfast Club, KWMW, Maljamora 105.1 FM. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Randall Pettigrew, reminding you that he's the guy that continues to fight for Southeast New Mexico. Also wants to remind you early voting has begun, and he's encouraging you to get out there and vote. He needs your vote. He wants you to vote. Even if you're not in his district, please get out there and vote. Randy Pettigrew running for his 3rd term in office. Find out more information. If you're new to District 61, don't know about Randy Pettigrew, Randy has done a lot during his first 2 terms. Fighting for our kids when COVID was going on, our school closures, was there fighting with this governor to open our schools back. Continues to fight for the oil and gas industry that pays the bills in New Mexico. And, of course, our Second Amendment rights. Randy has continued to fight for our Second Amendment rights. When it comes to being a conservative, he's very proud of being a conservative. CPAC gave him the A+ rating. Randall Pettigrew.com. You can find out more information. Message paid for by Randy Pettigrew. We're going to take a break. We're coming right back. We're B and the Breakfast Club, National Anthem and the Pledge on the way. Things that happened on this date in history and more. 710 W105 qualifying you for the cash.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Guy Chevrolet in Artesia presents the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Stormy Daniels returns to the witness stand today for more cross-examination by attorneys for Donald Trump.
The defense is trying to undermine Stormy's credibility and cast her as an extortionist who once, remember, denied the affair. Quote, am I correct that you hate President Trump? Asked Necklace. Yes, said Stormy. You want him to go to jail, right? I want him to be held accountable.
Fox's Eric Shawn. The criminal trial resumes at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. 196 Republicans, 163 Democrats deliver House Speaker Mike Johnson a huge victory, defeating Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who tried to boot him from the position.
I don't hold grudges. I got to work with everybody, and I told her last night before we left the floor, let's move on, Marjorie. I'm okay with this. Let's move on.
Speaker Johnson earlier on Fox and Friends, and close to 80 million of the paths of severe storms in the eastern and southern part of the U.S. America's listening to Fox News.
Everyone, I'm State Representative Catherine Brown. I serve Carlsbad, Otis, Loving, Malagajal, and Eunice in the State House of Representatives. I'm running for re-election, and I'm asking for your support once again. I'm on the front lines in Santa Fe fighting hard for families, schools, and businesses. I vigorously defend constitutional rights, including the right to keep and bear arms. I strongly support local industries such as oil and gas, potash, nuclear, ranching, and agriculture. Please vote for me, Catherine Brown, on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to Re-elect Catherine Brown. David Fritchie, Treasurer.
Zia Natural Gas Company reminds everyone that calling 811 at least 2 working days before digging is the law. This law applies to contractors and homeowners alike. If you begin your digging project without first calling 811 to have underground utility lines marked around your dig site, you can be fined and held financially responsible for repairs to damaged utility lines. Even simple projects are not worth the risk. Know what's below. Always call 811 before you dig. This message sponsored by Zia Natural Gas Company.
Sutherland's of Carlsbad is here for all your home improvement and DIY projects. Visit Sutherland's.com for how-to tips and guides. Skip the hassle. Buy online and pick up in store for free at 2101 South Canal in Carlsbad. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, and plywood to fencing, power tools, and furniture, Sutherland's has what you need for the job, plus great financing options. Sutherland's, helping Americans build it better since 1917.
Truckers, stop by our den at Casino Apache. Located on Highway 70 in Mescalero, New Mexico, Casino Apache features a full-service truck stop with everything you need to rest and refuel. Take advantage of our great gas prices and diesel refueling. Freshen up at our restrooms and showers for commercial truck drivers. Plus, grab a snack for the road at our well-stocked convenience store. Casino Apache, located on Highway 70 in Mescalero. For more information, visit CasinoApacheTravelCenter.com.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan.
I just adopted a new best friend, and I'm looking for a Toyota so we can make the most out of summer.
With a new RAV4, you can take your pup for a drive up the coast. You can take a Prius to the park, or you can take a Tundra to kayak at a remote lake.
One problem, Jan.
Oh?
My new best friend's a cat.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Visit Permian Toyota in Hobbs today. Toyota, let's go places.
Attention students looking for a great, rewarding job opportunity. The City of Hobbs is hiring lifeguards for full-time and part-time positions for anyone 16 years old and up. Join, and you'll get certified and be part of a fun, high-energy workplace. Apply online at hobbsnm.org or call 575-397-9228 for more information. Get out there and start making waves by joining the lifeguard team now. Dive on into a job with your City of Hobbs. The City of Hobbs is an equal opportunity employer and a drug and smoke-free workplace.
If you're looking for new adventures, Garner's Motorsports in Hobbs has you covered. Stop by our dealership to take advantage of an exclusive offer on the Can-Am Outlander. Right now, you can enjoy a $500 rebate on select 2023 Outlander models. Dive into the great outdoors and experience the thrill of off-road freedom while saving money. Seize the moment and head to Garner's Motorsports, 320 North Del Paso in Hobbs to get rolling on a new Can-Am ATV. Offer ends 3/31/24. Certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Looking for oil field, industrial, and safety supplies? Go to America Supply. Need cleaning supplies? America Supply has that too. How about restaurant and food truck supplies? Are you beginning to see a trend here? America Supply carries everything from H2S and quad monitors, fire extinguishers and first aid kits, to safety glasses, vests, FR clothing, fall protection, and gloves of all types. They have your slings and whip checks, your lift straps and cam locks, your adapters, pipe fittings, and threaders. They have many name brands like Lockout, Tagout, Pelican, Milwaukee, Rigid, and so many more. Visit America Supply to find exactly what you're looking for and then some. 502 North Grimes and Hobbs under the Big American Eagle, or call 575-393-3383.
Working for the GEO Group at Lee County Correctional Facility in Hobbs is not going to be anything like you see on reality TV. The true reality of the GEO Group? Start at $20 an hour with no training. The GEO Group will pay you while you're trained to be a corrections officer. You get a 90-day $1,000 sign-on bonus, and then you get another $1,000 bonus upon certification completion. The GEO Group is proud to offer a community setting built for true rehabilitation through structured living and an incredible staff. Join the family today. GEO Group at Lee County Correctional Facility. Apply online at jobs.geogroup.com or call Jade at 575-392-4055. GEO Group is an equal opportunity employer.
I want to wake America up.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
I got to keep wearing it, but don't tell them I didn't have it on when I walked in.
Well, I don't think Kevin's made it back yet from fixing his tea, but knowing him, he is rushing up the stairs. And we'll get to us in just a minute. So in that case, since Tom's not back either, I'm going to go ahead and go to the text line right now. And welcome back, Kevin. I see him rushing in. Go ahead.
I'm here.
All right,
God
go
bless
ahead.
you.
Go
All
ahead.
right, 17 minutes after the hour of. Did you guys already start?
Yeah.
I didn't see the camera on.
Oh, yeah, it's on.
All right.
I waited
All right,
I waited till you sat down before I switched it over.
Oh, okay. God bless. 17 after 7, I had a emergency.
Oh, I figured you were making tea. I was going to go right to the text line, and
no,
then I heard your door because I had flipped over to the screen.
No tea for me tonight. All right, new survey finds that the most borrowers delay major life events because student loan debt. So, yeah, student loan debt could be a problem. Well, wait, Biden's eliminated much of that student loan debt. Roughly 29% of student borrowers have delayed buying a home. 28% have put off purchasing a car as a result of student loan debt. I'm going to be honest. To be fair, nobody can do those things. I mean, a lot of people put off buying a home because they made bad decisions. They have. So if you're working at Starbucks and you have $200,000 in student loan debt, that's not the government's problem. That you went into a field that there are no jobs for, and you're working at Starbucks now. It's not our problem.
True.
That sounds like your problem. Breastfeeding mothers in a recent study says that using cannabis, THC in the milk, that stands for reason. Whatever whatever you eat, your baby is, or whatever you smoke, or whatever the case is.
Duh, that's why they tell them not to drink.
Yes, that stands for reason. Wow. Prince Harry is in the UK this week, 10th annual Invictus Games. Tom, that game's where we get people that were in the military competing against each other. Will not see his father, which is sad to itself.
Man. The guy's dying, or was
dying. And Ivan Gelder, best known for his role in Game of Thrones, lost his battle with cancer over the weekend. He was 74. What was his character on Game of Thrones, Blake?
Trying to think of who that person was.
Kevin. It's K-E-V-A-N. Kevin, except not with an I-N. Kevin in Game of Thrones.
Now, was that with Jennifer Lawrence in that show?
No.
Game of Thrones.
Game
Tom.
of Thrones. I'll have to go look him up.
I wasn't into it, but I mean, it was watched by a lot of people. All right, things that happened on this date in history on the way. Don't forget, if you are in Artesia this morning, you want to pick up some great burritos or maybe a platter. They're serving up breakfast at Roadrunner Grill and Barbecue, 811 West Main in Artesia. Need them to cater a party or a big event, they can handle that for you. Need them to prepare meals for everybody in the office or on location. Not a problem. They can handle that. 575-736-2573. Roadrunner Grill and Barbecue. Tom in the text, we'll talk about Barron Trump. Is he getting into politics?
Wow.
I'll get to that next.
John from Eunice is chiming in. Good morning, guys. I have come to the conclusion that if the left can't censor everything that we see and hear, people like George Soros and Bill Gates will just buy up every newspaper, radio station, and media outlet that's out there, and then we won't have any other avenue to get our information. It's already happening, and I guarantee you, says John, that the FCC won't do a darn thing to stop it. He's chiming in this morning.
Well, they can only own so many stations. They can't own all the stations. Like in a marketplace, say, let me say, like in Dallas, they can own a certain percentage. I think it's 16% of all stations in the market. Maybe it's 25%, but it's not that many. So they can't own them all, which is good news.
Continue.
No, they can't own them all, but they'll definitely try, won't they? All right, so Lovington listeners chiming in. I got to remind you that the opinions of these listeners.
You don't have just read the text.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal, Blake.
You said it's Lovington listener.
Yeah. No, this is the opinion. This is his opinion.
Read the text, Tom.
So, hey, good morning, guys. Do you think that the recent revelation about County Commissioner candidate David Trujillo's criminal record and denied criminal record will affect the county commission's race? That's up to you, voters.
David Trujillo will be on with us in a couple. Well, next 17th. Friday, correct?
Friday the 17th.
Next
Friday. And so we'll let David answer that question. You know, in a lot of these races, I'm going to be honest. I am troubled. I am troubled. Because, like in this particular race, I'm friends with Deanne and I'm friends with David.
Correct.
I'm friends with both of them.
Correct.
Same thing in the race, Steve McCutcheon, Larry Scott. I'm friends with both of them.
Correct.
And so it's very tough. It's very, very, very tough. But we'll let David answer that question for himself. And we'll go from there. And I have told David if he wants to call into the show, he is welcome to call into the show or text into the show or do whatever way that is. So, and by the way, we are not going to censor comments. I express that I think it's unbecoming to what we do to censor information. And we never have censored information. And so any comment made by a listener is the listener making the comment. I'm not making a comment. When I make a comment, you know it's my comment. So,
Right.
So maybe that's the disclaimer right there. All comments made by a listener calling in or texter, and not the comments of the radio station or the host. It's the comments of the callers or texters. Continue.
Thank you. And Tom's book would be something like How I Got My Groove Back, says this one texter. The Sex Girl Laugh Out Loud, or How to Fight with Yourself and Still Win. Says the text. Okay.
Yes. How to argue with myself.
I like that one, Linda.
And still lose the argument.
No. How to fight with yourself and still win. I like that. That's actually a good name for a book.
That's just crazy.
You should write that book, Tom.
Yeah.
That would sell, actually.
And another texter says, but thank you. That's loving the listener, by the way. And yeah, because Kevin can never own up, says another text.
What are you talking about? I can't own up. What am I not owning up?
You're not specific.
Please, go ahead and tell me what I don't own up to. I would love to hear from you not owning up. Please, go ahead.
Let us know. Let us know, text.
Well, and to be fair, Lovington listener texted me in as well and said that wasn't a question for David to answer. It was a question for us to answer. But thank you. So that's where the button.
Yeah, look, I think it's a question for David to answer. In New Mexico, we can plea in a case.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I've been accused of things that I didn't do. I've been accused of things so we all have the opportunity to clear the air, and we all have the opportunity to go to court.
Right.
But in New Mexico, for whatever reason, our laws are a little different than most states.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody can plea a case,
mm-hmm.
and then the record will be cleared. What is that called, Blake?
Yeah,
What's the
more or less.
Expunge.
No, that is called expunge. If the record is cleared, it's called expunge. But so almost every other state has, you can plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest, which is not pleading guilty. It just means that the state has overwhelming evidence. But in New Mexico, we also have a plea called the Alford plea, which is like no contest, but it has some other, I'm not entirely sure what it is myself. I've been trying to look this up, and I can't get a clear definition, because it's in one place it says that it's supposed to have the things expunged from it. Other ones, it doesn't say that. It says that if you plead guilty and plead the Alford plea, then you're not guilty of, it's not going to be listed as guilty of these crimes or whatever they are that you're pleading to. And we're one of like 2 states that has this. And it's archaic rule, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. But in this case, David, for what he was accused of, and it was a long time ago, right? And it was when he was in business with someone else. And so he pled the Alford plea. And so that's what that is about. And so technically, he does not have a charge of a felony or misdemeanor, but he pled the Alford plea so that would be the case, which is like no contest, okay, with extra stipulations. And honestly, if you want to go look up what the Alford plea is, that's what you go look up, because that's what it is.
So, David Trujillo will be on with us coming up next Friday.
Next Friday.
We'll give David the opportunity to explain. There are several candidates. I mean, what if Donald Trump is found guilty of a felony?
Right. Well, and here's the thing, too, is there is a difference between being convicted of something or all that kind of stuff and being charged with things, and all those differences come up. And one of this all stemmed from, every year before primaries in the newspaper, we do a question and answer for contested races. And so one of the questions this year was, have you ever been charged with a felony or serious misdemeanor? Right? That was one of the questions. And we come up with the questions in the newsroom, which involves me, my senior reporters, any managing editor, if we have one, our publisher, and every once in a while, somebody else from the office, right? And we come up with questions that we're just going to do for everyone. So we do questions for any county commissioners. We do questions for any Senate races. We do questions for any House races. So all of those candidates get the same questions, right? And one of the questions this year, and it should be probably every year, is, have you ever been charged with a felony or serious misdemeanor? And there are multiple candidates who have been charged in the past. And then they ask for what that outcome was. So, and how they answer that is up to them. And the reason that Lovington listener is texting in about that question is because David's answer to that question, you can go look it up in the newspaper, was, I do not have a felony or misdemeanor. Okay. And so as part of being a newspaper editor, when we get the answers, and we have access to secure court access, like any lawyer or anything that has to do with the legal system, we looked up every single candidate, every one of them. And so we put in there whether we found anything, if it matched what the candidate said, or if it didn't match what the candidate said. And that's where this text is coming from. And quite honestly, it's just that simple.
So we'll see what David has to say next Friday, and we'll go from there. Usually I do not comment on local elections. No. I will comment on a state election and a federal election.
Yes.
I do not comment on local elections.
And again, like you said before, I'm friends with both of them in that race.
I'm friends with both of them.
I'm friends with every one of these contested races. I'm friends with both or all three, depending on the race, candidates in those races. And I, obviously we all have personal opinions on who we're going to vote for, but other than that,
I'm also going to be honest and say this, that it's a no-win proposition.
Correct.
When Claire Chase ran against Yvette Herrell, I was friends with both of them. And I remember being told that when we did the debate that we favored Claire Chase, and that is just not true.
No,
not true at all. So it's a losing proposition,
right?
No matter which way we go,
right? And I get it. I as the editor of the newspaper as well, I get that I'm going to get blamed for all that. I have big shoulders. I can take it, right? Yeah. But I am going to be as neutral as I possibly can.
Yeah, and that's the way we should be. All right, 7:32. Tom, continue.
All right, so we got a phone call. Let's go to the phone call quickly. Good morning. You are on B and the Breakfast Club. Who are we talking to?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yes, sir, Frank. This is Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Frank. How's it going?
Yes. It's going good, sir. It's going good. So, politicians, each one is not Jesus Christ. So they're going to have their faults. They're going to have their pluses, their positives and their negatives. We just have to pick the correct one. And it's all based on a person, if you want to vote for this person or the other person, that has to be respected. Can't criticize them. At least they have the guts to run for politics.
Right.
And they're trying to fix what's wrong right now. Like Stormy Daniels, we go back to Stormy Daniels and stuff. Well, the government, the whole politicians, they have a slush fund for in case they say that they have sexually accused of something. They have $20 million slush fund per year, and they don't have to say who used it this year or who used it last year. So,
right.
I mean, that's as crooked can get in the federal government, in the Congress, So, us over here in the small world, in Texas, New Mexico, in our legislatures that are running, they have guts. They have guts because they're going to take all the laundry out on their family, on their ancestry, history, on their future plans. Yeah.
Frank, I've been honest and said, I I mean, I'd have people coming out of the woodwork saying stuff about me. That's why I ain't never run. And number one, I don't have the temperament to sit back and allow some of the stuff to out and out lies. I would be the person in the back going, boo! Yeah. So, thank you, Frank. Take it easy. Barron Trump could be becoming the next Trump to get involved in politics. You saw the story, Blake?
I did, and it took me by surprise, actually.
Yeah, I was quite surprised when I read it this morning. And Barron Trump stepping up in the political spotlight. He will be, of course, he's the youngest child of Donald Trump. He will be part of the delegates from the state of Florida at the National Convention, Republican National Convention.
And
he's 18 years old.
Does that really put him? I mean, being a delegate, does that really put you in politics?
No. Well, kinda. I mean,
Right.
because you do have some decision-making power as a delegate.
Sure.
So Donald Trump's daughter Tiffany is also a delegate.
Yes.
So, and I guess both of them in the state of Florida.
Yes.
The judge that let the migrants out of jail. Remember the 200 individuals that bum rushed the Texas National Guard and cut down a fence?
You mean the part of the invasion? That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Judge Ruben Morales of El Paso not only let him out of jail.
He's very liberal.
Usually before you get out of jail, especially you assaulted a officer, where can we find you? You know, and we need an address. You know, back in the day, if you didn't have an address, you were called something
indigent.
Yeah, indigent. And they would keep you locked up because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So they let him out, and now they've dismissed all 200 cases. Ruben Morales, allowing individuals to assault officers of the court. Go. No, we're going to dismiss every charge. What do you expect? He's from El Paso.
He is. He was elected in 2018.
Well, can we unelect him in his next time that he is coming up for re-election? Get him out of here. 200 cases dismissed. We allow other people to hit and destroy property.
Right.
Dismiss all the cases.
Of course, he is a Democrat.
Oh,
lifelong Democrat, it says.
Yeah, no doubt.
Went to law school at UT in Austin.
Wow. Well, I mean, he spent too much time in Austin. It does happen. Boxing promoter Don King, Don King, best known as the boxing promoter.
Yep, Mike Tyson, boxing promoter.
Mike Tyson with the boxing promoter from Mike Tyson back in the day. Mike Tyson loved them, and they.
Took his money.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, a lot of people think that he absconded some of Mike Tyson's money, but the iconic boxing promoter endorsed Donald Trump yesterday.
Did he?
For president of the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, he said, get elected.
Wow.
And we must reelect Donald Trump.
Wow.
You know, a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for yourself.
Wow.
Because we've got to fight the system of lies and the creation of wrong from being right and right from being wrong. That's got to be eliminated. Don King endorsing Donald Trump. Wow. Information coming out about the illegal immigrant that allegedly killed Laken Riley.
There's no allegedly. He did it.
Yeah. Accused of also being a peeping Tom. Suspect, February, killed the nursing student, Laken Riley. Mm-hmm. Was indicted by a Georgia grand jury on Tuesday, court records show. Jose Antonio Ibarra, 26 years old, Venezuelan migrant, entered the country illegally 18 months ago, was indicted on 10 charges. Charges include 3 counts of felony murder, 1 count of malice, 1 count of rape, aggravated battery, tampering with evidence, and being a peeping Tom. Peeping Tom charges relate to another individual at the University of Georgia in Athens.
On the same day.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ibarra is accused of going to an apartment at the University Village housing building for the purpose of becoming a peeping Tom. Peeping in a window, spying upon, invading other people's privacy. Also tampering with evidence. And by the way, he was already convicted in New York City, and they let him out.
Yep.
And he fled. You let these folks that have no ties to a community out on bond, they're going somewhere. They're disappearing. That's exactly what he did. Sad, sad, and sad. Our government has let us down again and again and again. Congratulations to an 8th grader, Mally Satet, Satete, West Las Vegas. She is an 8th grader. For the 2nd consecutive year, there is a new home run queen in New Mexico softball. New crown has gone to a player who isn't even in high school yet. She's in 8th grade, set the new record.
Wow.
She 21 home runs. She smashed 21 home runs this year. She's in 8th grade. By the way, she's a multi-sport athlete, played basketball, volleyball, and softball.
That's pretty awesome.
That is really, her aspirations play softball in college.
That is awesome.
8th grader. She's got 4 additional more years to go.
That wasn't my good news story, but it could have been. That's a good news story. Yeah.
No doubt. All right, 7:19, 19 minutes after 7 p.m. The Breakfast Club Morning Show this morning being brought to you by Janko Janitorial, 324 West Main in Artesia. They offer commercial janitorial supplies. They also do commercial cleaning, industrial cleaning, and all field cleaning. They specialize in window cleaning and office cleaning, but they are well equipped to do industrial cleaning and all field cleaning. Their folks are certified when it comes to pathogen certified and hazmat certified and PPE certified. And they have a lot of different, of course, cleaning supplies, commercial grade cleaning supplies. So they'll sell you the cleaning supplies or they can do all the cleaning. 575-703-1869. Call Amber today or go to the website, jancojanitorial.com. Tom on the text. When we come back, we'll talk about an international jewel thief and an Albuquerque therapist accused of inappropriate contact with a client. We'll get to that next.
Cactus from Carlsbad says, I went to vote on Tuesday, and I noticed that Chris Christie was on the ballot. Now, why in God's green earth is that tub on the ballot when he couldn't even get enough to be in the president?
Said that tub?
That's what she said.
That's what it says. Well, and I can answer that question. He's on the ballot because everybody that was on the primary ballot, even before they all dropped out, they stay on the ballot.
Yeah, and there was one person, I'm trying to remember because the story was on Drudge, and it was Nikki Haley who she got 22% of the vote. I think it was in Indiana. I'm looking to see if I could find that story again. I can't, but I'm thinking it was in Indiana. Nikki Haley got 22% of the vote. So they're going to show up no matter what. Just cast your ballot.
Yeah, just vote for whoever you're going to vote for.
Yeah, exactly.
And a reminder from the Mexican federal government said that anyone who could plant a garden could plant a rebellion against it, and they burned the people's garden.
Yesterday. That was yesterday, Tom.
What's today? May 9th, right? It says May 9th on it.
Where are you reading?
Well, I'm just reading it.
We had it yesterday.
That's not anywhere in the top dozen.
Well, I'm reading that.
Hello, you're lost.
So that's May 9th. It says May 9th on it. That's what I'm reading. And then he goes on to say, on that judge from El Paso. Don't know what he means by that, or that person means by that comment.
It says, can you say cartel payroll member on that judge from El Paso?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Yep.
And they're asking you this from you, B. You're an independent, and who are you going to vote for in the primary? I bet I can guess no one, says the text.
Well, he's an independent, so he can't vote in the primary.
He can't vote.
And you know what? That's fine with me. That's fine with me. I think it's a ridiculous law that should be changed. I think the two-tier voting system, two-party voting system, and the United States should go away. That's just my opinion.
Well,
that's just my.
Most states have an open primary,
right?
And it's for the independent vote is the reason they have the open primary. Like Texas has an open.
Everybody wants to say that people are being disenfranchised.
Nope.
Well, I'm being disenfranchised. I don't get to vote for who I want to vote for.
Right. But like Texas has an open primary.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, theoretically, if you have a Democrat opponent who has an opponent in the primary, theoretically, all the Republicans could go vote in the Democrat primary and get rid of them.
That's the fear, and that's why New Mexico wouldn't do it.
But it hardly ever happens because if you do that, you can't vote for other Republicans in a Republican primary if you're voting in the Democrat primary, or vice versa. If you were a Democrat and want to get rid of a Republican, then you can't vote for the other Democrats in the primaries. Yeah. So it hardly ever happens. Now, it gets a little bit of traction, but not much.
Yep. International jewel thief freed into the United States at the border has now been accused of stealing $300,000 in jewelry from New York City. International jewel thief wanted by Interpol for a theft in South Korea. Came across the southern border, entered in San Diego, and our government let this international jewel thief come on in. Come on, we're just gonna go ahead, come on in. His name is Yaron Wan, 49 years old. He's well known with Interpol. Came in, stole $332,000 from a company in New York City. Well known also in Seoul, Korea, where he stole $332,000 in 2018. Yep. He loves stealing. Oh, wait, he went to London? Wow. This guy's been all over the place.
Wow.
Just come on in. I mean, and please tell me that we don't want bad people coming into the country. We just allow them to come in. There you go. We're going to furlough you right into the United States. Albuquerque therapist accused of inappropriate contact with a client. And so Albuquerque therapist accused of sexual abuse with one of her teenage clients faces judge today. Christina Vim Pulini, never heard that name before, will remain in jail for at least until the judge can decide if he'll stay there his entire trial. Well, wow, that name, Chris, Krishna, that's a he. By the way, police say a 15-year-old girl was his client and told her parents about the abuse about 2 months ago. Wow. By the way, she recorded her therapy session on her smart watch and got him to admit to everything.
Wow.
And I do mean everything.
Well,
Marjorie Taylor.
Good for her.
Yeah. Marjorie Taylor, I mean, you're going to somebody and you're trying to get better. You've got bad things happening in your life. And, man, that's told not only is it unacceptable.
Right.
Man. Marjorie Taylor Greene pulls the trigger, forcing the House to vote to expel Speaker Johnson. Looks like the vote didn't have the votes, but 11 Republican heroes stood up against the swamp. 11. Probably the most well-known, Chip Roy from Texas, stood up and said, nope, we're not going to, no, we're not going to. But it wasn't enough. It just was not enough. U.S. News Report reveals New Mexico is declining, second worst state in the country. Despite improving rankings in fiscal stability, natural environment, and opportunity, New Mexico remains at the bottom of the U.S. News and World Report 24 best states to live in. State ranked at 49, just above Louisiana. So we are not in a good situation.
So
New
you
Mexico.
Think, you think the deciding factor was that Louisiana has mosquitoes the size of hawks?
No, Louisiana has been going through a Democratic governor now for the past 12 years. They finally have Jeff Landry, who is a Republican. I think he will make some strides. West Virginia, New Mexico, Mississippi, Alaska, and Louisiana, all at the bottom of the list. Alaska, that was quite a surprise. College anti-Israel agitators could be sent to Gaza under a new House GOP bill. The House Republican bill would send any person charged and convicted with illegal activity on the college campus to Gaza for 6 months. By the way, that bill's not going to pass, but, I mean, it sounds to me like a great solution. Send them to Gaza. Yes, I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be great. All right, Tom, here's your opportunity to shine. Since you speak Biden,
right?
You speak Biden. I want you to tell me exactly what Biden is saying. And you and him speak pretty much the same language. So I want you to explain what the hell he said.
Seriously, just like I did January 6th. The guy is not a Democrat with a small d.
He's not a Democrat with a small d.
Okay.
But so what is he's trying to say?
I think he's trying to say that that he's not a Democrat with a small d.
Okay. I'll take that as the answer.
I think that's exactly what he said, not what he was trying to say.
And I'm still trying to figure out what is a small d.
Right.
I don't know. Lloyd Austin, the secretary, defense secretary, talked about that $1 billion sale. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it was arms that we were sending to them like we do Ukraine. No. They were paying us $1 billion. So he says, yeah, we've postponed that for now.
Reviewing some near-term security assistance shipments in the context of unfolding events in Rafah.
So you agree with the pause, and you were consulted and agree with the pause, Mr. Secretary?
I think we haven't made any decisions. We did pause as we are currently reviewing some near-term.
I gotta ask this question. You know, when we held up funding for Ukraine, they said it is a dire emergency that they get the weapons needed to win that war. You remember that? And that war has been going on now for 3 years.
Right.
And we sent them over $200 billion. Now, here we have a country that wants to pay us. And we're going to hold up the shipment?
Well, I have a couple of questions with this. First of all, didn't we just approve an aid package for them? And what was that for? Because that's obviously not them paying us.
No.
And then
maybe that was part of the agreement. You buy $1 billion, we'll give you. I don't know.
But then wasn't it only a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that Biden was like, "Our support for Israel is ironclad."
Yeah. but he sees the numbers, his polling numbers going down with young people.
So he's going to side with the terrorists?
Yes, he will, because it's more important that he gets elected.
No, it's more important that he represents Dearborn, Michigan, where we have a high population of Hamas terrorists living in our country.
No doubt. Here's what Biden had to say about the shipment.
The weapons. We've held up the one shipment as an old shipment design. We've held that up.
But why? Why would you hold that up? Makes zero sense.
Because he doesn't want Israel to win the war. Hates Israel, man. He obviously hates Jewish people and Israel.
Yeah, he definitely. So if you're Jewish and you're voting for Biden, man, I don't know what to tell you. I've been saying that for years, though, but the Democrats, and why are the Jews always voting for the Democrats? Biden on CNN was asked a question about the economy.
I do want to point out one more thing about the Jewish state. He did this on the Holocaust Remembrance Day.
He did.
What a way to remember the Holocaust of the near annihilation of the Jewish people than to say, you're at a war and we're not going to let you defend yourself and win it.
Yeah, we're going to screw you over again.
Yeah.
So he's on CNN. He's talking about pricing, and things are great under Bidenomics. Things are. Listen to the question.
Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of American people think they're in good shape economically. They think the nation's not in good shape, but they're personally in good shape. The polling data has been wrong all along. You know, how many, you guys do a poll at CNN, how many folks you have to call to get one response? The idea that we're in a situation where things are so bad, the folks that, we've created more jobs. We're in a situation where people have access to good paying jobs. And the last I saw, the combination of the inflation, the cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people with good reason. That's why I'm working very hard.
So the inflation and the cost of inflation, those are the two things. People are not making that much more money. The cost of living is going up 20%. Most people haven't gotten a raise for 20%.
He's speaking from his pride instead of the actual facts.
Right. And, of course, you know who's to blame. It's the corporations.
Right. And
it's
us
not
little
his
people.
Administration.
It could never be their policies.
No. Corporate greed is to blame. Listen.
What about, but there's real pain. Grocery prices are up 30%, more than 30% since the beginning of the pandemic, and people are spending more on food and groceries than they have at any time really in the past 30 years. That's a real day-to-day pain that people feel.
It really is, and it's real. But the fact is that if you take a look at what the people have, they have the money to spend. This angers them and angers me that you have to spend more. For example, the whole idea of this notion that Senator Casey talked about, shrinkflation. I think it's on your
same price for a smaller bottle of juice or something.
For example, Snickers bar, they did a thing, and it's like 20% less for the same price. That's corporate greed.
No. I remember they took him to the coffee shop, and it was like $8 for a cup of coffee, and he was like, he actually responded, not wanting to respond. He went, holy, camole at the price. He is out of touch. He has never been to the grocery store. I guarantee you he's not been to the grocery store.
No.
And it's not corporate greed. You either raise your prices or you give less product.
Well, and I'm going to give the example. This is real easy. If you have a government mandate, whatever it is, their policy is that this is going to cost X, and this is going to cost X, and this is going to cost X. Well, when you add those things together, your product has to cost more than that to make a profit, right?
It is about making a profit.
And part of that is like Gavin Newsom, Governor Hairgel out there in California, now wanting fast food workers to make $20 an hour. Where does he think that money is going to come from?
I'm not cutting my profit margin.
Right.
That would be crazy.
Because most businesses have a slim profit margin to begin with.
Right.
The food business is a very thin profit margin business.
So the day that the pay went up for the employees,
the prices went up.
The cost of goods went up.
Yeah.
It's simple economics. It is.
But it seems like these people never understand simple economics.
I guess. Bad news for the AP. AP has been going woke for a while.
Well, and
Mark Zuckerberg says he's thinking about acquiring or permanently funding the Associated Press.
Well,
where could that go wrong?
Everywhere. I mean, it's already bad.
Yeah.
Because the AP over and over again, not only are they only really concerned with big stories, they've been shrinking all of their state agencies.
Yeah, it's not good. Chiefs, Rashid Rice, in trouble again. Under investigation for hitting a photographer. This guy can't stay out of trouble. And a new survey says 81% of young people would they think that 4-day work week would be more productive. You just don't want to work 5 days a week. Come on, just admit it. Just admit it. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about Democrats encouraging Joe Biden to fix the immigration process. And when we talk about fixing the immigration process, basically we're talking about giving status away. Let's be honest. Do you know it's been 24 years since the DREAM Act? 24 years. And it just continues to happen. So we'll talk about that. And Jen Psaki on MSNBC actually fantasizing about Trump disappearing. I'll get to that coming up next. Quickly, I got to get to things that happened on this date in history, being brought to you by 2A Tactical and Firearms and the Indoor Firing Range, 236 East Navajo in Hobbs. You can find them online at 2atacticalrange.com. Veteran-owned and operated with the largest selection of firearms. State-of-the-art indoor firing range. If you're looking for a place you can go shoot, they've got it, and it's climate controlled. They also have the FBI Milo training simulator where you can shoot live fire or the laser. 1,000 different scenarios for you to hone in your skills. They have lots of ammo, plus a large selection of optics and accessories. When you go shoot at the range, join the monthly membership or pay by the hour. Need training, firearm training? They first-time firearm owner, we encourage that. One-on-one training or group training. 2atacticalrange.com or find them at 236 East Navajo in Hobbs. Check them out today. Proud sponsor of things that happened on this date in history. 1502, Christopher Columbus left Spain on his fourth and final trip to the Western Hemisphere. It was his final four, Tom. It was. First American newspaper cartoon published in Benjamin Franklin's Pennsylvania Gazette in 1754. Lawnmower was patented by a guy who liked waking up to his neighbors cutting the lawn at 6 a.m. on Saturday in 1899. First TV variety show, The Hourglass, premiered on NBC in 1947. FDA approved the sale of birth control pills, replacing a headache. Yep, it did. Birthdays today. Rosario Dawson from Sin City is 45 years old. John Corbett from Fat Greek Wedding is 63.
I like him best on Northern Exposure.
Oh,
he played Chris, the radio DJ.
Oh, Allie Mills from Wonder Years is 73 years old. She was the mom. Billy Joel is 75 and just the way he is. Yes, he's looking for an uptown girl who could play the piano and is not a man. Candace Bergen, Murphy Brown, the Connors, you name it. She's been on it. She's 78 years old.
I got one other.
Yeah, you got one other?
Tom Peterson. Do you know who he is? The bass player for one of the greatest American rock bands ever, Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick, wow.
Yeah, he's 74.
Tommy Rowe is 82. Tom, he had a song back in the day, and you know the song?
I don't remember it offhand, no.
It didn't make you dizzy?
No.
It didn't? Okay. Tommy Rowe.
Was it Sweet? Maybe.
Yeah, he's dizzy.
Sweet Pea?
Yeah, there you go. All right, 805. Tom, quickly to the text. We're going to take our break. National Anthem and the Pledge coming up.
This text says, he eats steaks and we eat hot dogs, and he doesn't care for legal citizens, says the texter. And, Lovington Liberal says, I'm in good shape. Thank you, President Biden, 2024, says Mr. Lovington Liberal.
Do you smoke like a little weed or a lot of weed?
You asking me directly?
I'm just asking.
I don't. Period. Why?
I'm talking to Lovington Liberal.
Oh, you're talking to Lovington Liberal.
Oh.
Okay. Thought you were directed it to me.
I think you need to start, Tom.
No.
Couldn't hurt. I'm just saying it wouldn't hurt.
I would get fatter because I had the munchies. That's what people do, have munchies.
I don't know if you could get any fatter. Continue.
And MLG has done to New Mexico what Joe Biden has done to the whole country. I mean, to see that we rank poorly makes me smile. Democrats are getting what they asked for. I can't wait for the day when the true American people rise up, says the text. See?
Eventually. All right, some of the stories we'll talk about next. The Lincoln National Forest, they're closing down a big attraction. And the vandals in New York City to face a World War II or World War I statue. Why do you hate World War I? U.S. has spent boatloads of taxpayer money on education. Where do we stand with U.S. students and test scores? I'll give you the results. Anati, the baseball player, hopefully I got that right, his interpreter pled guilty yesterday.
All that. Yeah.
Ohante.
We'll talk about that. In Midland, a plane crash in Midland yesterday. And nurse adopts a baby. And one of the babies that was her patient only weighed 2 pounds from the University of New Mexico Hospital. We'll talk about that. Great feel-good story. We'll get to that coming up next. Our national anthem and our pledge, KWMW Maljamar 105.1 FM, being brought to you by Rebecca Long. She's your Farmers Insurance agent. 19 years of age. She started her business. 40-plus years later, she's still helping people. Part of the reason she's still helping people is she loves helping people. She loves helping people get insured. She loves helping people that pay less for their insurance. And in the time that they might need help, she loves helping folks. She does. Home, auto, life insurance, recreational vehicles, commercial insurance, and life insurance. Rebecca Long can help you. If you're a new family just starting out, sit down with her. Plan this stuff out, especially when it comes to making sure that you're fully insured and you have life insurance. Call Rebecca today, 575-393-2661. She serves Lee, Eddy, and Chaves County. Find her by calling her 575-393-2661. 808, National Anthem and the Pledge on W105.
We are the Perry family from Hobbs.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
God bless America. God bless you. It's 8:10. Large prayer this morning being brought to you by Judah Oil, reminding you God is in control.
From Psalms 91 this morning, God says, I will save those who love me and will protect those who acknowledge me as their Lord.
Hi, this is Felicia Bowen with Judah Oil. Please join me in our Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Quick check of the weather being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd, and Roswell, homegrown and proud of it. Farm and Ranch Supplies, Western Wear, they've got all the feed for your animals, certified Purina dealer, locally owned and operated, and I tell you what, they have everything. Hardware store. They've got pumps for your water wells. They've got everything. 1105 East 2nd and Roswell, RoswellLivestock.com, also in Capitan at the Lincoln County Mercantile. Enjoy today. Sunny skies. Wind's going to be less than 15 miles an hour and a high 86. Increasing winds tonight, 25-mile-an-hour winds tonight, down to 55. 74 and partly sunny tomorrow, and then the rain comes. 55 coming up for Friday night, 20% chance of rain. We've got like a 70% chance of rain on Saturday into Saturday night. 5-day forecast, go to W105radio.com. Checking in with news being brought to you by Ragsdale Law Firm, Luke Ragsdale. Call Luke today, 575-208-5300. Luke Ragsdale, settling big cases out in the patch. One case, $10 million settlement. $9 million settlement for a medical malpractice case. Luke is also settling car accidents and slip and falls and can handle your case if you need somebody to defend you in the court of law. More information available, ragsdalelawfirm.com, 575-208-5300. News coming up next. Right now, let's qualify you for the cash on W105.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Guy Chevrolet in Artesia presents the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now. Call now.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Stormy Daniels back for a cross-examination by the Trump defense team today in a New York court after Judge Juan Merchan refused to declare a mistrial but said salacious details from her first day were better left unsaid. Senator Rick Scott on the DA's use of a porn star for a bookkeeping trial.
I support my friend. I support Donald Trump. This is just political persecution. It's a crime to use the courts for political persecution.
After declaring ironclad support for Israel, President Biden says he won't send the precision bombs that Congress approved to use in Rafah, claiming on CNN they could cause civilian harm. House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox.
This is a political decision that he is making. He's terrified of the pro-Hamas wing of the Democratic Party.
Last night, Speaker Johnson was saved with the help of Democrats from a conservative vote to topple him. And RFK Jr. qualifies for the presidential ballot in Ohio. America is listening to Fox News.
This is Anissa Tinnin. That's the 911 tape where you hear me shoot a 5-time repeat felon that broke into my home here in New Mexico and threatened me and my granddaughter. I was terrified, but what's also terrifying is that Governor Lujan Grisham is attacking our Second Amendment rights. The same Governor Lujan Grisham who handpicked Steve McCutcheon to fill a vacant state Senate seat. Later, McCutcheon told the Roswell newspaper on September 23rd that he was undecided on supporting a special session to impeach Grisham for signing away the gun rights of law-abiding citizens. McCutcheon relented only after all other Republicans had already agreed. That's why I support Larry Scott for state Senate. Larry has a career-long A rating from the NRA after hundreds of pro-Second Amendment votes over 10 years. Send the governor a message that you're not undecided about gun rights. Vote Larry Scott for state Senate because the next victim could be you.
Paid for by Our Values PAC.
As a single mom, it means a lot to me to have a strong banking relationship. With the cost of living as it is, I have to make the most of every dollar I make.
Every member has different wants and needs. That's the basis of relationship-based personal service. A strong credit union is built on strong relationships. Estacado Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a number, you're a member. Federally insured by NCUA.
Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply has opened their 9th location at 5211 Buena Vista Drive in Carlsbad, New Mexico. iHose is a full-line supplier of pipes, valves, fittings, and emergency equipment for the oil and gas market. They offer 24/7 call coverage for all your emergency needs. They can support your next project or your small daily repairs. Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply. Go by the office today, 5211 Buena Vista Drive, and meet manager Carl Ford and his team. Call 575-286-0991. Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply. Check them out today.
If you need an aggressive, experienced personal injury attorney who is honest and true, you need to get the Gorilla.
So I'm 23 years old. I worked at a warehouse, and I took an injury which caused the amputation of my right leg. I was approached by a specific firm, and they turned my case down within 5 minutes. I was told to come visit the Gorilla Law Firm, and immediately they saw potential in my case. And I tell you what, Gorilla Law Firm had my back when no one else did. The Gorilla Law Firm made me a multi-millionaire. And if you're injured, you call the Gorilla Law Firm too.
The Gorilla Law Firm, 3130 North Grimes and Hobbs, or call 575-964-2720.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And now through June 30th, get 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,300 off L3302 tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Amigo Machinery, 2801 Southeast Main Street, Roswell.
The power is yours all month long. Memorial Day savings start now at Permian Ford. Save on all F-150s. It's time to trade in and trade up. Begin your summer adventure at Permian Ford, where there's something for everyone. Selection, savings, and more for your trade. From our lot to your driveway, you don't have to wait. Permian Ford, on the corner of Del Paso and Singer, where you are treated like family.
Permian Ford.
Visit PermianFord.net.
Truck Central USA.
Honey, what are you doing? It's 4 a.m.
Well, I'm making a big breakfast for you and the kids. We got to get going this morning. It's a long drive to Midland Airport.
I booked our flights out of our airport here in Hobbs. It's in town, not in Texas.
Well, you want some toast?
Is that strawberry?
Organic boysenberry.
I'm going back to bed.
Love you.
Flying in and out of Hobbs gives you more time and less stress. So when it's time to fly, you gotta fly Hobbs.
Free books. Bring your family to the Jalagueño Arts Park in Carlsbad on May 11th from 8 a.m. to noon. The Passport to Adventure literacy event will also include free hot dogs, science kits, fun reading, and STEM activities for kids pre-K through 5th grade. Come join the Passport to Adventure, Saturday, May 11th from 8 a.m. to noon. This ad paid for through the City of Carlsbad's lodger's tax.
What could possibly live out here is a question you've probably either asked yourself or heard from someone else. The answers are all waiting for you at the Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park in Carlsbad. Located at the top of the Ocotillo Hills, the Living Desert will take you through a variety of habitats, from the sand hills to the arroyo, from the Pinon Juniper Zone, and through the Canyonlands along the 1.3-mile self-guided tour. Features like the nocturnal exhibit, a walk through the park, including the aviary and reptile exhibit, will give you a glimpse into the hundreds of species of plants and animals adapted to the arid climate of the Chihuahuan Desert. In addition, the Succulents of the World greenhouse exhibits highly adapted plants from many parts of the world. Don't forget your souvenirs from the Visitors Center at the Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park in Carlsbad. Open every day except Christmas Day, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., with last entrance being at 3:30. Visit livingdesertnm.org or call 575-887-5516 for more information. Paid for by City of Carlsbad Lodgers Tax.
Every morning.
Good morning.
The best, baby.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
A lot of you are tired. I get it.
I remember when I lost my sock. How many times will I forgot? They were there just wrapped around my feet. Now one is gone and now my foot's incomplete. But the biggest shock I ever got was when I found that missing sock hiding out in a pair of underwear. Now the matching one I can't find anywhere. No, lost sockin', where'd it go? Brother, I know you've been there. I put them both in the washing machine, but in the dryer there wasn't a pair. Loady, it just ain't right. I'm gonna be extra careful doing my laundry tonight. But you can bet I'll still be one sock light.
877-396-W105. Defense cross-examining Stormy Daniels. Let the fireworks begin right now in New York City.
Such a circus.
Such a circus, but let the fireworks begin now.
If you're those defense attorneys, what is your strategy? Because my thing is, don't drag it out, or they'll start to look sympathetic.
You do have a point. Stormy Daniels on social media and in interviews has said some things about Donald Trump that about his anatomy.
I think that as the defense attorney, you stay away from that.
Yeah,
I think you come on there and say, the very first question is, okay, you once said this didn't happen. Now you're saying this happened. How do we know which lie to believe?
Yeah. There you go.
I think when it's time for the defense, I don't think they put it on a defense. I think this case has already been decided.
So you don't put her on defense.
Look, we're talking about the defense attorney questioning Stormy Daniels.
Right, but when it's their time to put
we're not talking about that. We're talking about Stormy Daniels.
I know. But she's already...
No, we're talking about the defense questioning Stormy Daniels.
What I'm saying is that Stormy Daniels, they have made Stormy Daniels the main person in this case, all right? We know it's about the hush money, but if I'm the defense, when it's time to put my defense, I wouldn't put on a defense. I just said, we rest our case. Boom, boom.
Well, that's how it started, Tom, with the boom, boom. I'm just saying. Look,
I think I just bring up how I would just discredit her with every question.
Right.
And I would
ask several questions.
Yeah, I would limit it to 10 questions, but all of those questions would be designed to show how she's a liar,
right?
Show she doesn't have integrity, etc.
Let's ask.
It would have nothing to do with her profession as a porn actress or anything like that.
No,
I wouldn't, because it's not. None of those questions have anything to do with this case. No. This is a transaction case.
Right. She took the money. And so she tried to blackmail Donald Trump.
Yes. I mean, any hush money case is a blackmail or an extortion
it's a blackmail
type case.
So she tried to blackmail Donald Trump. He said, what if we pay you $166,000? Yes, that'll work. Okay. Cut her a check.
He didn't say that. There's no, they haven't proven that he said that.
Well, I get that. I'm just saying, cut her a check. Be done.
And then my next thing is, if I was a defense attorney, I think that I would ask this question. Now, you had a non-disclosure agreement for an agreed-upon set of money, apparently, right? And she's going to say yes. And then you're going to say, so why are you now violating that contract? And shouldn't you have to pay the money back? I would ask her that and let her answer.
You know, when she was asked about paying back the money for the Trump defense that the court ordered her to do, she said, "I will never pay that back."
Let her say it and let the jurors hear it, because this judge has already proven that he will let things go on and then go, oh yeah, you can't pay attention to that. And every lawyer worth their salt knows you just got to get it in front of the jurors. You can let the judge say, oh, you can't pay attention to that. But if the jurors have heard it, it's in their brain.
Yeah, it's already there. New survey finds that a lot of individuals will not fly on Boeing planes now. If you had the choice of flying, making say a cross-country flight or an international flight, would you fly in a Boeing plane?
Probably not if I had a choice. Honest.
I would probably, if you could pick and choose.
I would choose Airbus.
Yeah, I would definitely, and that hurts because Airbus is a British-made plane.
European.
Americans supposed to be making them better.
And British have a reputation for like their cars for parts falling off. So, Triumph and all those.
Yeah. So I would rather fly on anything but Boeing. And that hurts to say that. American animal control officers and public works employees in New Jersey came to the rescue of a kitten found in a trapped storm drain. But it was a skunk.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a skunk. Or are we just referring to the state of New Jersey in general? Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they might not have been able to smell it because it was in New Jersey.
Yeah, it was close to the subway. This cat/skunk clogged up the pipes.
Is it Pepe Le Pew?
And it kind of like what happens with Governor Chris Christie at his house when he eats Panda Express. Man who tackled Dave Chappelle on stage 2 years ago got sued by the Hollywood Bowl and its security team, allegedly neglected to secure the site. Between the assault on stage and now he's acting like a victim, even though he went up on stage during the performance by Dave Chappelle, and they tackled him.
As they should.
Yeah, it's like going to the Oscars and getting slapped by Will Smith. Come on.
Right.
All right, Sitting Bulls Falls Recreation Area, historic recreational site located, of course,
Eddie County.
Guadalupe Range of Lincoln National Forest will be closed.
For what?
Staff shortage. Do you mean you can't get somebody to get off their butt and go work?
Well, usually they had, they didn't even have a ranger there for a long time. Usually they just have like a work camper. Yeah. They have a camp host that's kind of the overseer there.
Yeah. So Lincoln National Forest currently looking to find a solution to their staffing issues. But as of right now, they're shutting it down.
That's
By the way,
shame.
you want a job? You want a job? Call Jennifer this morning, 575-630-3010. I don't know anything about it. I don't know the requirements, but if you're looking for a job, give her a call. World War I statue defaced in New York City by vandals. They burned the American flag. Maybe these people should learn some history.
These are those terrorist people, I believe. The Antifa, the pro-Hamas terrorists.
Well, they're all together. In fact, Fox News had a story that they have pinpointed somebody from the 2020 Antifa rallies with Black Lives Matters as one of the same people that were out there protesting for the pro-Hamas movement. Of course they are. These are individuals that have no life.
Well, they're terrorists as well. I'm not even going to cut it short. These are American terrorists if they're from America. If they're from somewhere else, they're somewhere else terrorists. But they're terrorists nonetheless. And all terrorists should be treated the same.
Yeah. So Central Park, 107th United States Infantry Monument, which was defaced with pro-Palestinian stickers. They spray painted Free Gaza and burned the American flag at that site. Why do you hate the veterans of World War I? What the hell have they done? At least they spelled Gaza correctly.
Well, they only have 4 letters.
Because the other day, and I posted this up on Being the Breakfast Club. Just because you're in college don't mean you're smart.
No.
They actually misspelled Palestine. So, Tom, I'm going to put you up to task. Palestine. Spell it.
That's in Texas.
If you say so.
There's a town named Palestine in Texas.
So that's Palestine.
Same thing.
No, it's pronounced differently. But go ahead.
So,
the neighborhood.
I'm giving you the opportunity to.
He's talking about the country.
As a college graduate, to show me how to spell Palestine.
You got it in front of you?
Why would I need it in front of me?
Because you're not going to trust me to spell it.
I'm asking you to spell it, if you can.
I'll look it up.
I'm asking you to spell it. You're a college graduate.
That's why I have a smartphone, because I can look it up.
And you know that there's a town in Texas called Palestine.
Right. Palestine.
No, it's Palestine. Anyone who lives there will tell you it's Palestine.
So spell it. Sound it out and spell it.
Do I get a free meal?
Sure.
Yes. Go ahead. You get it right, I'm giving you a free meal. Don't look at your phone.
He already did.
Palestine.
You would have got it wrong. You'd have spelled it with an A if you wouldn't have looked it up. College graduates on college campuses spraying Free Palestine. Palestine. Correct spelling? Palestine.
And that's the way I spelled it. Hello, anybody else?
Yeah, because you looked it up. That's why. Yeah. U.S. has spent a buttload of money, taxpayer money, on education. How are student test scores looking?
Dismal.
We spent about $29, almost $30,000 per student, and our test scores are not good. The National Assessment Education Progress Report on math tests: only 28% of 8th graders in New York public school scored proficient. 28%. Only 32 were proficient in reading. If you look at the national capital, Washington, D.C., 16% of 8th graders proficient in math, 22% proficient in reading. New Jersey actually did a little better. Their students, 33% of 8th graders proficient in math, 42% proficient in reading. I encourage you to go look at this report for your state and see where you came out. But not looking good for our average for students being proficient in math or reading. Not good. The national average is pretty bad. All right, Shashante, the former interpreter, has agreed to plead guilty to
Ohante.
federal charges.
Ohante.
Now, Honte's the player now.
$17 million they took from the athlete's bank account.
Right.
Pay off his gambling debt. So
he could have got 33 years in federal prison.
Yeah, he did plead guilty.
Yeah.
I still say there's more to this story. But of course, I've never had that much money that I could just show that went up missing. But that's just me. Happened last night, yesterday afternoon, 2:30. Plane crashed in a field in Midland, according to Texas Department of Public Safety. Preliminary information reveals that 34-year-old Q Johnson was the pilot of the plane, a Cessna 172, which was flying the American Patrol out of Midland. Johnson stated the plane stalled, caused him to crash into a field near the Sky Air Park. Pilot not injured. The scene was, of course, secured by FAA, which is the normal way they do things. 7-day waiting period in New Mexico goes into effect next week. Just a FYI, if you're buying a gun, 7-day wait period. Unless you have, what's the exclusion to that? If you have your concealed carry permit?
I don't think so, because I think even like law enforcement officers still get the extra 7 days.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought there was
I talked to Corey Hilton about that, Lee County Sheriff, and he was saying that even law enforcement will have to wait the extra 7 days.
Now, didn't that law go into effect on the 7th, May 7th?
Goes into effect next week. Next week.
Okay.
That's what it says. Next week. 7-day wait period.
And by the way, World War I is when they decided when a lot of the borders in the Middle East were going to be what they were.
Oh, so that's why they have such disdain.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, boob of the day on the way. University of New Mexico. What a great story. University of New Mexico hospital nurse adopts a baby that was one of her patients. So the nurse who works with the sick children has officially adopted a child born 4 weeks premature and weighed only 2 pounds. 2022, Olivia Pena, registered nurse at University of New Mexico Children's Hospital. Mother of 2 already and a wife. But then she got the call asking her to take on another role. Pena had already fostered several children. She was called upon to foster this little baby, which she did. And she adopted the baby this month. That baby had a brain hemorrhage that caused seizures. She needed a breathing machine and so much more. Little Addison was adopted recently. By the way, Pena is now pregnant with her fourth biological child. What a giving family.
Man, what a great story.
White nose syndrome. Have you ever heard of white nose syndrome?
Yes.
I mean, when I first read this, I was like, somebody hanging out with Hunter Biden. Is that
right? Yeah, too much cocaine. Yeah. No, what is it?
So, white nose syndrome. By the way, Cottonwood Cave in Eddy County tested positive for fungus that causes white nose syndrome.
From the bat.
The Forest Service and the Fish and Wildlife Service announced that. The information provided in the test results will be critical in guiding our management's actions. And white nose syndrome is likely to kill millions of bats across North America since 2006. Currently found in 40 states, poses no risk to humans.
Unless you eat the bats.
Yeah, unless you eat the bats. And by God, I've never had deep-fried bats and don't plan to, which is great.
I do remember hearing about this now because that was a major concern in some areas that because it is, the bat populations are way more than you realize. and they do a whole lot to control insect population.
Oh.
And so when you have problems with your bat colonies dying, you have a tremendous increase in a lot of other things. Because about 20% of mammal species are bats.
Mike Tyson says he's eating raw meat to prepare for the fight against Jake Paul. He's 58 years old. Jake Paul was 27 years old.
Right.
By eating raw meat, he claims that will get him ready to fight. Mike Tyson eating, and no sex. I'm not having any sex or smoking no blunt. Yeah.
And he's eating raw meat in preparation for chewing Jake Paul up.
I can only hope. Definitely put more iron in your body, right?
Man, I got to make some bets in this fight.
Yeah. Nearly 90% of adults in the United States have a syndrome that can lead to a heart attack. New study reveals roughly 90% of Americans have a cardiovascular kidney metabolic called KCM syndrome.
Okay.
The risk is greater with older adults and men and black individuals. American Heart Association introducing a new staging system, Trust Source, in 2023 called the KCM syndrome to better treat and manage the cardiovascular kidney metabolic disease. And they say this is all of that is deeply connected. So if you suffer with heart problems, kidney disease, diabetes, or obesity, you could fall a victim of this. Risk factors include high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess body fats.
What are you saying, B?
I'm not saying anything. I'm reading the damn story. Don't get all butt hurt because I detailed you high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess body fats. Don't get butt hurt on me.
Yeah, stick it to me. Yeah.
I was not pointing fingers, believe me. I was reading from the paper. All right, 19 minutes away from 9. Let's get to the boob of the day. Being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine Anesthetics. Medical professionals that are there to help you. If you're suffering, they have the answer. I get ozone therapy, and it works. It works. And for me, it works. It lasts for 6 to 8 months for me. The injections in my back and knees, it works. So if you're living in pain, don't suffer alone. They also offer stem cell therapy and the cryogenics therapy. Go talk to them today. And thank God for somebody like Desert Functional. Understands your hormones and how they work and understands how to treat your hormones. Hormonal optimization. That includes testosterone. Testosterone replacement therapy. Testosterone is a hormone. And when your hormones are off, it causes a lot of different things. Fatigue, headaches, low libido, weight gain. The list goes on. And you need somebody like Desert Functional. I hear it all the time from guys. Can I just get the testosterone? No, you need to have the blood work done. And this week, I proved that because I didn't, I'm out of country right now. Finally, I got the blood work and figured out what's going on. Hopefully, I start feeling better. But you need a doctor that can guide you and make sure you're good. Desert Functional Medicine Aesthetics. Visit them online at thedesertfma.com or 3900 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs. Desert Functional Medicine Aesthetics, proud sponsor of the Boob of the Day.
This might seem silly, but it could have huge implications when it comes to getting your ice cream fix. So pay attention, Tom. And it could, how much you pay for it, it could actually influence that. So Cold Stone Creamery, is facing a class action lawsuit because their pistachio ice cream is pistachio-less. A woman from Long Island bought some of that ice cream in 2022 and then found out they don't actually use pistachios to make it. They use, quote, pistachio flavoring. The ingredients include water, ethanol, propylene, glycol, natural and artificial flavors, and food colorings Blue 1 and Yellow 5. She says she would not have bought the ice cream if she would have known that, and a judge just ruled that her lawsuit can move forward. Now, it's not clear how much she's suing for or how much you could get if you bought any. Either way, it'll be a while. If she wins, it could impact the types of ingredients ice cream companies use, and they may end up charging more since Reel's pistachios, I can't say the word, aren't cheap. Now, her lawsuit notes that Cold Stone has other deceptive flavors too, including mango, coconut, mint, orange, and butter pecan ice creams. But the judge said her lawsuit can only focus on pistachio for now. Cold Stone Creamery, you're the boob of the day.
Is Tom rubbing off on you in that studio?
No, I had a cough. I had to cough right in the middle of it.
I know the feeling. All right, one cut before we take a break. Then we got Melanie Stansbury on the way and Chip Roy. You got to hear what Chip Roy said about immigrants. We're going to get to that coming up in a second. But Democrats, it's been 24 years since the DREAM Act. 24 years. There's two answers to immigration.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you shut down the border. Shut down the border and you don't allow anybody to come back in unless we need a certain trade. Oh, we need doctors? Let me go find the best doctor. We'll recruit the best doctor to come to America. Or you just open the borders completely, but no handouts.
Right.
Either way. I mean, and you can pick whatever way you want. So we'll get the Chip Roy coming up in just a second. And he had some interesting approach to that. But Democrats, I wanted to play this cut. 24 years since the DREAM Act came into place. Tom, you remember the DREAM Act? You remember what that was about?
I think it was about something to do with immigrant kids or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And so right now, the Democrats are upset with Joe Biden. They want Joe Biden to fix the immigration system. And so they say the ball was in his court. Here's some Democrats talking about just that.
And to do it now, because as said, the time is now. It's not only smart economic decision for the United States, but it protects Americans' tradition of being the land of opportunity that so many of us and our parents have had. And we call on him to do the right thing. Thank you.
Majority Whip of the United States Senate and the original author of the DREAM Act, Senator Durbin.
Come on, Dick, get up there.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you for giving me a chance to say a few words. I'm still a little bit overcome by the hearing that I just left. It was on the DREAM Act, a bill which I introduced 24 years ago. 24 years ago.
So, and I wanted to make sure and put Dick Durbin in there because 24 years. Don't we get anything done in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
And how long are we going to continue to fight this? Because Ronald Reagan allowed 5 million people to get amnesty.
Mm-hmm.
They got to stay. They became citizens. But the problem continued. You can't give amnesty and allow the problem to continue.
Ronald Reagan made a fatal mistake in that case. He believed the Democrats were going to do what they said they were going to do, and they didn't.
Yeah. And it came back.
Dick Durbin and Tip O'Neill lied.
Yeah, those two, most definitely. All right, we're coming back. Got a lot of things to get to. It's already 8:49. Check of the weather being brought to you by North Star Laundry. You can find them in Carlsbad and in Loving. They offer coin-operated machines. Coin-operated machines at all three of their locations, and they are open 7 days a week for your convenience. But if you don't want to do that, you can take all your laundry to North Star Laundry, and they'll wash, dry, and fold all your clothes. They could starch up clothes. They could dry clean your clothes. They could do it all. Press them. Get in touch with them. Stop in and talk to them. North Star Laundry, 3 locations, 609 West Lee in Carlsbad, 604 West Church in Carlsbad, or 406 West Cedar in Loving. Talk to them about taking care of all your laundry. Not a problem with those guys. Quick check of the weather, 88 for the high today. Sunny skies. Wind less than 15 miles an hour tonight. The winds kick up to about 25 miles an hour. 74 tomorrow, 15-mile-an-hour winds for your Friday. But Friday night, chance of rain. And Saturday, up to like a 60 to 80% chance of the wet stuff. Let's get updated with news. We're coming back. Good news of the day on the way. News this morning being brought to you by Zia Guns, 1907 North Main in Roswell. Over 1,000 firearms in stock. Handguns, rifles, shotguns. Trade in your old gun to get a better gun. They can tune up your bows. If you're looking for a gun, they have a huge selection, over 1,000 firearms in stock. Ladies, if you've been thinking about getting a firearm or something to protect yourself with, they offer lethal and non-lethal firearms. They're closed Saturday, always open on Sunday. Stop in and talk to them today. The experts are standing by at Zia Guns. Customer satisfaction, they offer that every day. 1907 North Main in Roswell, Zia Guns. Taking a break. Let's qualify folks for the cash. 819, be in the Breakfast Club.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Guy Chevrolet in Artesia presents the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now. Call now.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over fill and vac truck operations, flowback services, and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing. Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Stormy Daniels back for a cross-examination by the Trump defense team today in a New York court after Judge Juan Merchan refused to declare a mistrial but said salacious details from her first day were better left unsaid. Senator Rick Scott on the DA's use of a porn star for a bookkeeping trial.
I support my friend. I support Donald Trump. This is just political persecution. It's a crime to use the courts for political persecution.
After declaring ironclad support for Israel, President Biden says he won't send the precision bombs that Congress approved to use in Rafah, claiming on CNN they could cause civilian harm. House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox.
This is a political decision that he is making. He's terrified of the pro-Hamas wing of the Democratic Party.
Last night, Speaker Johnson was saved with the help of Democrats from a conservative vote to topple him. And RFK Jr. qualifies for the presidential ballot in Ohio. America is listening to Fox News.
Larry Scott is soft on illegal immigrants and tough on taxpayers. Larry Scott voted to give free health care to illegal immigrants and voted to hike taxes on our health care to pay for it. Larry Scott voted to send hundreds of millions to sanctuary cities and said that deporting illegal aliens would have, quote, a negative impact. And Larry Scott even donated his own money to open border Democrats. Larry Scott, he campaigns as a conservative, but votes like a liberal. Thankfully, we have a better choice. Conservative Senator Stephen McCutcheon is leading the effort to ban sanctuary cities, take on the drug cartels, stop the flow of deadly fentanyl, protect our families, and secure our border once and for all. And conservative Stephen McCutcheon voted to impeach Michelle Lujan Grisham and is the only candidate endorsed by the NRA. Vote for the real Republican. Conservative Stephen McCutcheon for Senate. Paid for by Stephen McCutcheon for Senate.
The power is yours all month long. Memorial Day savings start now at Permian Ford. Save on all F-150s. It's time to trade in and trade up. Begin your summer adventure at Permian Ford, where there's something for everyone. Selection, savings, and more for your trade. From our lot to your driveway, you don't have to wait. Permian Ford, on the corner of Del Paso and Sanger, where you are treated like family.
Permian Ford.
Visit PermianFord.net.
Truck Central USA.
Hello, everyone. I'm State Representative Catherine Brown. I serve Carlsbad, Otis, Loving, Malaga, Jal, and Eunice in the State House of Representatives. I'm running for re-election, and I'm asking for your support once again. I'm on the front lines in Santa Fe fighting hard for families, schools, and businesses. I vigorously defend constitutional rights, including the right to keep and bear arms. I strongly support local industries such as oil and gas, potash, nuclear, ranching, and agriculture. Please vote for me, Catherine Brown, on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to re-elect Catherine Brown. David Fritchie, Treasurer.
Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply has opened their 9th location at 5211 Buena Vista Drive in Carlsbad, New Mexico. iHose is a full-line supplier of pipes, valves, fittings, and emergency equipment for the oil and gas market. They offer 24/7 call coverage for all your emergency needs. They can support your next project or your small daily repairs. Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply. Go by the office today, 5211 Buena Vista Drive, and meet manager Carl Ford and his team. Call 575-286-0991. Industrial Hose and Oilfield Supply. Check them out today.
In the race for state senate, after all the political noise, there is one issue that matters most to voters. Every job in our area depends on the survival of the oil and gas industry. Which candidate will best protect our oil and gas jobs? That's easy. It's Larry Scott. He's been in the oil and gas business for over 40 years. He fought for our industry, for our jobs, and for us in Santa Fe. He stands up to progressives who hate oil and gas and who want to kill our vital industry. Make no mistake, progressives have vowed to outlaw oil and gas. That's why we must vote for Larry Scott for state senate. Ask anyone who knows this business and they will tell you they're supporting Larry Scott. His opponent, Steve McCutcheon, lacks the ability and knowledge to defend this important industry. Southeast New Mexico loses if Steve McCutcheon represents us in the Senate. That's why we need Larry Scott. Vote for oil and gas. Vote for our jobs. Vote for Larry Scott.
This ad paid for by the committee to elect Larry R. Scott, New Mexico State Senate District 42.
Drilling Brake Auto Repair LLC is a professional auto repair shop offering high-quality automotive maintenance and repairs in Carlsbad. They specialize in diesel and gas mechanical services, auto and AC repair, tune-ups, brake replacement, diagnostics, and more. They have many years of experience in this industry, and they have a team of highly skilled mechanics that can get the job done right the first time. Give them a call at 575-725-8882 or find them on the web at carlsbadautomechanic.com for Drilling Brake Auto Repair.
Hi, I'm Laura Boyd of Rio Grace Landscaping and Nursery in Lovington, and we are ready for Mother's Day. Take the guesswork out of gift giving this year by ordering a custom-arranged planter pot for that special mom in your life, with choices like patio tree roses, hydrangea, peonies that classically bloom around Mother's Day each year, and many more varieties. Call us today at 575-396-7464 and stop by Crockett Road, just north of Lovington on the Tatum Highway. Rio Grace, your Mother's Day destination.
Get back! Get back! I have a gun! I will f***ing shoot you!
This is Anissa Tinnin. That's the 911 tape where you hear me shoot a 5-time repeat felon that broke into my home here in New Mexico and threatened me and my granddaughter. I was terrified, but what's also terrifying is that Governor Lujan Grisham is attacking our Second Amendment rights. The same Governor Lujan Grisham who handpicked Steve McCutcheon to fill a vacant state Senate seat. Later, McCutcheon told the Roswell newspaper on September 23rd that he was undecided on supporting a special session to impeach Grisham for signing away the gun rights of law-abiding citizens. McCutcheon relented only after all other Republicans had already agreed. That's why I support Larry Scott for state Senate. Larry has a career-long A rating from the NRA after hundreds of pro-Second Amendment votes over 10 years. Send the governor a message that you're not undecided about gun rights. Vote Larry Scott for state Senate because the next victim could be you.
Paid for by Our Values PAC.
I know he's an early riser.
We don't get fooled again.
You guys ready?
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
Are you listening to me? Because I'm about to unload. Ha!
It's time now for Stoned Movie Reviews. Stoned Movie Critics for Stoned Moviegoers.
It's time for the sequel we'll all be going bananas over. It's, what's this one called again, man?
I think it's called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
It's not Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
No. That one came out like 10 years ago. It's even older than War for the Planet of the Apes.
Dude, that one came out in 2017.
Wasn't that Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
I don't know when that one was in theaters.
So wait. Is this all like a rise of the dawning of the war for the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Oh, you're making my head hurt like high school algebra, man. We'll be right back.
Can't we all just get along anyway?
9 o'clock, KWMW Malchimora 105.1 FM, and the Breakfast Club. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Butcher Block Meat Market and Grill. Get in there today. Enjoy their beef jerky. All right, I tell you what, if you haven't had breakfast, it's the perfect place to go for breakfast. Delicious burritos that are packed with, a lot of the grub. They really are. Or have one of their platters. Their biscuits and gravy, I am told, is really good.
Yes.
And pancakes and eggs.
Yes.
And maybe some, how about some bacon on that?
Yes.
Or, I mean, that.
And it's that good, thick bacon, yes. too. It's delicious stuff.
So get in there and try their breakfast. Also, they'll be back for lunch. The daily lunch specials available and the weekly meat market specials on Facebook. So like them on Facebook. 1422 South Main in Lovington. They always have smoked meats available and jerky and custom cut meats also. Like them on Facebook. Butcher Block Meat Market and Grill. Check them out today. Looks like Air Canada reported one of their lowest ranking airlines and as far as customer satisfaction in America, which is absolutely incredible since you've got Spirit Airline and Frontier Airline. You can't believe you can't blame people for hating Air Canada because they mainly serve Canadian beer. No, thank you. No, thank you at all. But Spirit, that's a private. I'm going to tell you another airline that I can't stand, Alaskan Airline. I've flown them multiple times coming from San Francisco. Not good. Really not a fan. Taylor Swift kicks off her European leg of her Eras tour in Paris. 20% of the tickets sold have been sold to Americans who discovered they can fly to France and catch a show for less than the tickets we're selling for in the United States.
Wow.
And a lot of they said a lot of these kids are college-age kids.
Instead of not...
Wait, you can't pay your student loans,
Right.
but you can afford... wow.
A lot of Europe, right.
Wow. 50 Cent filed a defamation lawsuit against his ex, Daphne Joy, after she accused the rapper of raping and physically abusing her. So he's filed a defamation case. Met Gala raised $26 million for a charity. They haven't announced the charity. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says back in 2012 he was getting forgetful and went to see his doctor. They found a spot on his brain. After surgery, they believed that a worm had got to his brain and ate part of his brain. Then the worm died. Tom, have you been checked for worms lately?
I haven't checked no brains, no worms in my brains, no.
So, true story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's
the
true story.
worm. How does a worm?
Well, it's a parasite. You have multiple ways in your body for things to get in.
Right. Well, I had a good friend of mine went to Singapore and ate, and the parasite just chewed up his body inside.
Oh,
and so Not good. Gluten-free Chips Ahoy cookies coming out.
Are they really?
Gluten-free Chips Ahoy. Because if you really care about your health, you're eating Chips Ahoy.
Yeah. I did see they had Reese's Chips Ahoy the other day.
Oh, that sounds...
That's combining two things in one.
Legislation adopted Wednesday by the House of Representatives would restore a question about citizenship on the U.S. Census. And look, that's all it had to ask. Are you a citizen?
Yep.
And what's the problem with asking that question? Because potentially this is going to reshape the Electoral College. So we should know if somebody is a citizen or not a citizen. I'm not saying we don't count illegal aliens, but we should know if those individuals are citizens or not citizens.
Right.
If you are an illegal immigrant, you should not represent the way the U.S. Congress is chosen, as far as how many votes a certain state gets.
Correct.
That's just common sense.
And is like that everywhere else in the world.
Every country in the world. Mother and child. Did you guys see the story? Mother and child in crisis were airlifted by helicopter off a Carnival cruise ship.
Oh, my.
Saturday, hair-raising Air Force rescue. That Pave Hawk helicopter actually came and rescued them in Florida off the cruise line. It doesn't say what the medical emergency was in the story. I did not see that. All right, we're going to get to a shooting at the convention center in Albuquerque, but little Jen Psaki. Little Jen Psaki was she was the spoke. Carrie Jean-Pierre took her job as the press secretary.
Yeah, she got out while the getting was good.
Yeah, she is fantasizing about ways that they could take Donald Trump out. Listen to this.
Many of them want to be close to power. They also assume or have this thought in their mind that maybe Donald Trump will go away. Maybe he'll go to jail. Maybe he will die, not to be too morbid, but maybe, he's not a young man.
It sounds to me like she's fantasizing about the whole thing. Yeah, maybe he'll jump in a lake. Maybe he'll, get caught up with Stormy Daniels. Who knows? Maybe. We could say the same thing about you, Jen.
Oh, no, she's a Democrat. You can't say that about her.
Then they'll have to cremate you and stuff you like Raggedy Ann. All right, 9:07 morning show this morning being brought to you by Seminole Siding and Construction, trusted name across southeast New Mexico. Exceptional construction and siding services. Look, they offer a lot of different things, like metal buildings. If you've been thinking about putting up a metal building, maybe you have a piece of land, and you're thinking about putting up that metal building, maybe a barn or whatever, shop, whatever it is. They offer commercial and industrial type metal buildings. And they finish the job. They go from start to finish. They assure you and tell you the timeline. They get it done. And after the job is done, they go in and make sure everything is good to go. Their standards are higher than your standards. They know what to look for. They go in there and say, that needs to be changed. Look, they offer siding, windows, doors, metal roofs, shingle roofs, all of that and more. Go to the website, Seminole Siding and Construction.com. 908, Tom on the text.
John from Eunice is saying, guys, that poor worm would starve to death, and Tom said, says John. From
Where
Eunice.
the hell is that brain?
Funny. And Tom A plays music like he's watching the Hallmark Channel, says this one text. I don't think so. Danby, you're so perfect. You call everyone out, but when you're called out, ha, 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 ha.
Hey, I own everything that I said. If I mispronounce something, I said, hey, get a paper because you're going to have to write them down.
Yeah.
So how did I not own up to anything that I didn't do?
Yeah, he's just saying it. It's a hate day today, man. I'm telling you.
It's fine, Tom. I'm going to be honest.
I think when that came in, it was. I think he was talking about when I had to hit the pause button when I was coughing.
I'm sorry. I had a human issue. Do you want me to tell you what it was?
No.
I had a short moment.
No, I don't want to know.
And Smokey in Arizona is asking you, Blake, but you sure Tyson isn't eating raw meat in preparation for chewing off Jake Paul's ear?
That's kind of what I was getting at there. When I said chew him up, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Now, how are you reading text from 2 hours ago?
I was catching up.
Really?
Well, we said
but every time I go to you, you say that's all I got.
Well, they didn't come up then. Hey, these things come up when they come up. You know what I'm saying? And the dude from Love
I tell you, that is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard.
It's true, right? Right? Comes up when it comes up.
Yeah, it's time stamped.
Yeah, it's time stamped. And the dude from Lovington, B, you need to read about the Balfour. Is that the way it's pronounced?
Keep going, Tom.
Declaration and the Tykes-Picot agreement, so you can understand why you're constantly embroiled in all this Middle Eastern nonsense. Says the dude from Lovington. You read that stuff?
It's the Sykes-Picot agreement.
The Sykes-Picot.
And the Balfour Declaration.
Right. Yeah. Have you read that, B?
I have not.
Okay. So they're saying you should read it then.
I will check it out.
So. Oh, by the way, Mitchell from Lubbock is you got a lot of hate this morning, bro. It's pronounced Otani, not Hanti.
Hey,
there you go.
Connect. It's so I'm supposed to know Japanese words. I'm not a baseball fan. So let me pull a Cajun word out to you and see if you pronounce it right, because I'll be willing to bet that you won't. I'd be willing to bet that you won't.
Otani. We'll have to remember that.
Otani. And this text is
I'm not a baseball fan. I don't watch.
Yeah, on the gun law, this text is saying that law enforcement and active military, they're saying that over and over again, don't have to wait 7 days.
Okay.
Says the text.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
So, we'll see. I thought May 7th was the day that everything was like coming in enforcing. So defense be relaxed, big guy. It's Thursday. Says
tomorrow's Friday. Okay.
This is Friday
Eve. This word.
Yeah.
I'm gonna for Blake or Tom.
Yeah.
ATCHAFALAYA.
Atchafalaya.
What's that?
Atchafalaya.
Which means what?
All right, Tom.
Or no, really, it's Atchafalaya, but
Atchafalaya. Dude, Blake scores. Atchafalaya River. Blake got it.
Way to go. Yeah.
What was it, Tom?
Appalachian.
Yeah, Appalachian. Yes, that's what it was. Gunshot into the high school graduation ceremony at the convention center on Wednesday. 21-year-old Kristen Bicomo was taken into custody after police say he shot his stepmother. According to the Albuquerque Police Department, the victim was there watching her biological son graduate. She reportedly told officers when she went to hug Bicomo, he pulled a gun and shot her in the neck.
Wow.
Police say a witness saw him lift up his leg as though he was going to stomp on the victim. That's when the witness grabbed him by the belt and pulled him back. He must have weighed like 110 pounds. Shooting happened Wednesday at the graduation ceremonies for the Southwest Secondary Learning Center. Wait, Secondary Learning Center, is that like is that like middle school or what is secondary school?
That's junior high, isn't it?
Yeah, secondary.
Junior high?
Yeah.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Secondary education is the higher grades.
Man. By the way, the whole thing was recorded. Police were able to grab him and pull him out of the convention center. Man, that's nuts.
People going crazy.
You know, when you were first reading that and you had the whole shooting thing at the beginning of it. Otherwise, when you said he lifted his leg, I thought you were going to say as if to pass gas.
Yeah. Well, Tom, that would have been Tom. He'd have been a crop duster. All right, we're going to talk about the record-breaking temperatures when we come back. Here's one more story I'll get to. Kentucky woman goes on a shooting rampage, kills her husband, her sister, before dying in a shootout with police. This happened in Kentucky. Angela Grosser, 56 years old, accused of driving to her brother's house on Friday with a gun, forcing her way into the home. By God, she killed her husband and her sister in one shooting. By the way, she died in a shootout with police. And I'm looking at her in this picture, and she looked so nice. She really did. All right, we're going to talk about the heat wave coming up in a second. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror. Right now, use the promo code W105 and save 20% off when you buy the Atlas Makeup Mirror. Call Rebecca Long. You can use that code there and save 20% off. 575-631-3189. Perfect Mother's Day gift. It really is. If you haven't heard about it, it comes in 3 mirrors, times 1, times 5, times 10 magnification. And they all pull out. And it is the best makeup mirror on the market worldwide. Has LED lights, travels, very easy. It only weighs less than 4 pounds. AtlasMakeupMirror.com for more information. We're going to take a break. We're coming back. We're going to keep you updated with everything going on. We'll hear from Representative Stansbury on the other side and the good news of the day, too. We're W105, checking in with news.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Guy Chevrolet in Artesia presents the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash
Call now. Call now.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Former President Trump has been fined several times for contempt by the judge overseeing his criminal hush money trial in New York City. The judge previously ruling Mr. Trump violated the gag order he put in place. Heading into the courtroom this morning, Mr. Trump revealing his next move.
Just filed a major motion in the appellate division concerning the absolutely unconstitutional gag order, where I'm essentially not allowed to talk to you about anything meaningful that's going on in the case.
Stormy Daniels back on the witness stand for more cross-examination.
The defense is trying to undermine Stormy's credibility and cast her as an extortionist who once, remember, denied the affair.
This is Eric Shawn outside the courthouse. Close to 80 million people in the path of severe storms in the eastern and southern part of our nation. America's listening to Fox News.
That is the sound of your company logo getting printed on 500 shirts. Smart move. And an even smarter move in choosing the experts.
Awesome Graphics, serving Southeast New Mexico and West Texas for 15 years, can not only brand your t-shirts, they can embroider your polos, hats, and jackets. They can print your signs and stickers, large and small. They can handle vinyl graphics for your vehicle. Are the windows in your business too plain? Awesome can print custom decals that allow you to see out, but your customers just see your logo. In fact, Awesome Graphics can put your logo on practically every promotional item under the sun, from coffee cups and water bottles to keychains and sun visors for your company vehicles. Want authentic Yeti Ramblers, mugs, or tumblers customized with your company logo? Awesome Graphics is ready. Stop by 523 West Sanger and Hobbs for ideas, or simply visit myawesomegraphics.com. Trust Awesome Graphics and rest assured, whatever they printed on, your logo will look awesome.
National Furniture Liquidators Power Buy. Exceptional value and quality at the best price. 5-piece queen bedroom and exceptional buy at just $4.98. Sectional with storage space and pull-out bed, just $5.99. 7-piece dining room, unheard of at just $2.97. Ashley brand reclining sofa or love seat, just $4.86 each piece. Power buys throughout the entire store, plus great financing options regardless of your credit. National Furniture Liquidators when it comes to value, quality, and selection.
Nobody beats short.
Our water rights in southeast New Mexico are our most precious resource. But Steve McCutcheon doesn't care. He got caught red-handed for lying, cheating, and stealing our water and is under a cease and desist order from the state of New Mexico. He originally applied for a livestock water permit. Then he switched to a personal use permit. But the whole time, he was selling it commercially to the tune of 2.7 million gallons of water. He knew exactly what he was doing. In August of last year, he got caught, but he has yet to pay back what the state has ordered, over 5 million gallons of water that he owes to the people of Eddy County. To steal drinking water for profit hurts us all. To do so brazenly speaks to the character of Steve McCutcheon. Character matters. This election, say no to a candidate with character so corrupt he would steal our water to line his pockets. Say no to Steve McCutcheon.
Paid for by the committee to elect Larry R. Scott.
The past will come alive at the Lincoln Forest Renaissance Fair in Ruidoso on May 17th and 18th. Prepare for an unforgettable experience, including full contact armored combat, live music and stage shows, children's activities, food and art merchants, and more. For tickets and information, please visit LincolnForestRenFair.com or find us on Facebook or Instagram. Sponsored in part by Lincoln County and Village of Ruidoso Lodgers Tax.
At Coffee Drilling LLC, they offer a wide range of drilling services, from small domestic water to agricultural and monitor wells. In addition to mud and rotary drilling, Coffee Drilling offers services to pre-existing wells, as well as troubleshooting of pumps and all control systems. Call Coffee Drilling today to schedule your routine maintenance or see about an upgrade to your water system. Call 505-270-1767. That's 505-270-1767. Coffee Drilling LLC, over 20 years experience and serving all of Hobbs, Lovington, and Eunice.
This is Candy Spence Ezell. I've been involved in agriculture my whole life. I own our cattle ranch with my husband, and I still own family farms with my brothers down by Artesia. My dad was a farmer, his dad was a farmer. Agriculture and livestock is in my blood, and that's who I am. I have a lifetime's worth of experience and knowledge on the issues facing farmers and ranchers in New Mexico. I'm running for the state senate because I want to fight for our rights and our needs. I will protect our water in New Mexico, and especially here in the southeast. I will make sure that water rights from our basins are not bought up by developers and pumped to Albuquerque and Santa Fe. As your senator, I will protect our water. I'm Candy Spence Ezell, asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June the 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate, District 32.
Incidents of illegal dumping of household, commercial, and industrial waste are on the rise across southeastern New Mexico. Illegal dumps affect public health, safety, and the environment. Folks in both Lee and Eddy counties can call now and report illegal dumping to a hotline sponsored by the Southeast New Mexico Illegal Dumping Partnership and hosted by Lee County. The hotline number is 1-844-496-5509. Again, that's 1-844-496-5509. Report illegal dumping and be a part of the solution.
Get back! Get back! I have a gun! I will f***ing shoot you!
This is Anissa Tinen. That's the 911 tape where you hear me shoot a 5-time repeat felon that broke into my home here in New Mexico and threatened me and my granddaughter. I was terrified, but what's also terrifying is that Governor Lujan Grisham is attacking our Second Amendment rights. The same Governor Lujan Grisham who handpicked Steve McCutcheon to fill a vacant state Senate seat. Later, McCutcheon told the Roswell newspaper on September 23rd that he was undecided on supporting a special session to impeach Grisham for signing away the gun rights of law-abiding citizens. McCutcheon relented only after all other Republicans had already agreed. That's why I support Larry Scott for state senate. Larry has a career-long A rating from the NRA after hundreds of pro-Second Amendment votes over 10 years. Send the governor a message that you're not undecided about gun rights. Vote Larry Scott for state senate because the next victim could be you.
Paid for by Our Values PAC.
Back on the chain, yeah.
Now,
Back to the show.
Be in the Breakfast Club, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105. Powered by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer.
It's about damn time.
All right, 9:24 being the Breakfast Club record for hot weather. 11-month streak. European Union says the hottest year ever. Now, Blake, do we know it's ever?
No.
Because they've only been keeping records of temperatures
for a little
dating
over
back.
100 years.
Yeah, 100 years.
Ish. Yeah.
Yeah, ish. Yeah. I mean, some places they weren't. And so,
well, and to be fair, there are some places in the world that they've kept it for a long time, and there are other records, the Mayans and so on and so forth. But you know, they didn't. It's not continuous.
I know in Asia it has been the hottest summer on record. I believe everything is cyclical.
Yes, it is.
I think that's
just like the seasons
comes and goes.
You know, my favorite story of that is, you know, there was an ice age and we got glaciers from that ice age, and some of them have receded as this cyclical change happens. And in one of the Scandinavian countries, one of the glaciers receded, and they discovered a mine that was covered by this glacier. And outside of that mine were racks of mining tools that the miners had left at the front of that mine, like they were just left for the day.
Right.
Wow.
And they never went back because it snowed and froze in, and so nobody remembers it because it was a couple hundred years ago or more.
Exactly. Chip Roy. I got two more stories, then we'll get to the good news of the day. Chip Roy talks about the largest percent of migrants living in America and American history.
You've got a massive Muslim takeover of the United Kingdom going on right before our eyes. They would say, Chip, well, what is wrong with that? Well, I've got some pretty strong concerns about Sharia law and whether that'll be forced upon the American people. In this case, the people of the United Kingdom. I've got pretty strong concerns about people who want to see Israel's destruction, who were happy about October 7th, who were elected in the United Kingdom. Some might say that we've seen that here in the United States. What are we going to do about that? We have 51.5 million people who are foreign born in the United States. They have about 20 to 25 million kids. That puts that well over 20-some% of our population. It's the highest such number in the history of our country.
Just a thought. And by the way, the Muslims they don't hide that they're having more babies than Americans, and that they will control this country. They said the same thing in Europe. They will control Europe, and Sharia law will be there.
Yep.
And it's happening today. Wake up, America. Wake up. Wisconsin couple arrested for having sexual relations at the jail lobby. And I'm going to be honest. I look at him. He's 28 years old. The lady he's having sex with, Karen Hill, she's 67 years old. And he couldn't keep his hands off of her in the lobby of the jail. Wow. You go, girl. You go, girl. By the way, they were both placed in handcuffs. Not the fuzzy ones, just saying. Not the fuzzy ones. Florida mom charged with the terrible beating of her 4-year-old adopted son. Polk County Sheriff's Office says that Patricia Sanazire, 36 years old, charged first-degree murder. She beat this kid to death, and she adopted him. Usually when people adopt a kid, they have a awesome heart. Not in this case. She's an animal.
Yes.
All right, let's get to good news of the day being brought to you by Farmers Insurance Agent Herschel Rustin Hayes. Avenue D in Lovington, 575-396-0513. Home, auto, life insurance, commercial insurance. Get in touch with Herschel Rustin Hayes. Proud sponsor, good news of the day.
So an artist in Montana is in the news because she saw a lot of broken glass while she was out hiking. So she and her husband started picking it up to keep people from cutting their feet. And now she's making art with it. She smooths it in a rock tumbler and then arranges it into different designs. And you can go check out her work on montanaseeglass.com. And that's SEE glass.com. And a Vietnam vet in South Carolina named Larry Morganti just got one of his dog tags back nearly 60 years after he lost them in a rocket attack. Some guy with a metal detector found it and spent 2 years tracking him down. He mailed it to Larry last month, along with a letter thanking him for his service. And those are your good news stories of the day.
Good news of the day being brought to you by Herschel, Rustin Hayes. Tom, text, and then we're out. Quickly.
All right, congratulations to the Lady Wildcat Daphne Udahara on planning to further her college education at Galveston College, as well as her athletic career at Whitecap for softball. Congratulations. By the way, a lot of our area softball teams are in playoff action coming up in the next couple of weeks, so good luck to all of our teams that are in the playoffs. And I spent a few days in Palestine, Texas, 6 years ago.
Palestine,
Texas, and never thought about asking anyone
keep going
there why they pronounce it different than the other Palestine, Palestinian, since they spell the same. And can anyone know and tell me about that?
Because it's pronounced differently.
Although it's spelled the same.
It's Texas.
There's a lot of places like that.
It's Texas. I've been to Palestine, Texas, and Paris, Texas.
When I say quickly, it just means read the text.
Be one more hate for you this morning.
Every damn day.
He is a sore loser. If he's not right, he cries. Says the text.
When did I cry? If I'm wrong, I said I'm wrong.
Well, yeah.
So take that and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. And that's just the way I feel. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nobody's crying. I haven't shed a tear in years. No, I'm not a liberal. Sorry. God bless you.
And there you go.
All right, we got to take a break. Coming back, we're going to get to Tradio, buy, sell, or trade with Russ Black. News is your choice for your next HVAC job. They've got the experience to take care of you. If the AC is not working, call Enrique Rocha today. 575-631-1999. Rocha Air Conditioning and Heating. We're out of here. We'll see you for the Friday edition of BN The Breakfast Club. Tradio coming up next, W105.
News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Getting the job done right every time since